No. Unless you magically have more time for me to play Warhammer.
I wish. I wish I wanted some stuff.
I don't even get down there. I was playing on but I was in Hal.
Now, when I read your Bible.
Yeah, it sucks.
When do they come back?
You guys still have the community board, I thought.
I said you have the questions today.
Okay.
Saturday we start the questions. Wednesday, Thursday.
Was it Thursday night, like 6, 7 o'clock?
You guys want the rest of the river too.
Yeah, I might have to check it out one night after work. If I get some free time.
We actually have lunch there.
Yeah, I saw that on the Facebook. There's a lot of new faces.
Right.
Yeah.
So remember that. Saturday,
That's a good one. I will. I'll try. I'll see you on the side. Right back to
Bye.
work.
We're not recognized for food right now.
Oh, well.
Oh, it's delicious. But I forget I'm not a teenager anymore.
Oh yeah. That Plo Koon.
Yeah.
Does your stomach say, "This is what I do to people that eat things full of ice cream"?
Dave's stomach is full of narwhals, mine is full of worms.
Okay.
Yeah, just every once in a while you hear, oh, oh. It was great.
As long as no horns go through your stomach, you're good.
It felt like it. So last night on Plo, I got the lining down.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we've got ink drying, so.
Oh, cool.
So my guides are
I like the
down.
color. Deep blue.
Oh, Dave, we got home last night.
Mm-hmm.
There was a raccoon the size of a bulldog on the front lawn.
Oh, you met him?
He's so fat his stomach drags along the floor.
Yeah, I haven't thought of a name for him yet.
Like we pulled in and Randy was like nodding off and I just started screaming, "Oh my god, it's so fat!"
One of the fun parts about when your house is like directly across from some woods, you get like deer and raccoons and possums that just hang out on your lawn. Whenever the deer are around, it's never just one deer. It's like 7 of them.
Mm-hmm. So this is like a challenge, the kitchen sink thing?
Well, there's a challenge to do it by yourself in under an hour.
Wonder if I could do that. As long as they gave me time to punch out off the clock to take violent diarrheas. Clear out the space.
Well, they have a second challenge there where it's an hour for a 2-pound cheeseburger.
Huh.
And be like, that I can do. I was really tempted too because you get a free T-shirt out of it. Oh, I hate waiting for ink to dry. I just wanted to get my panel lines back easy. It takes forever. Oh, and I made a base adapter for my painting handle.
That's cool.
It's a
So
little
who's paying DTs like stormtroopers being that jerk?
good stuff. I mean, I probably would personally, if I went that route, I'd probably add, something more to them. Like, he's still also just in process, so like I don't know what else he's gonna do, but he's doing the bright orange shoulder to mark the squad. I probably would change up the color of their helmet too. I mean, they're your toys, so paint them however you want. But I also make a very active decision to not ever want people to be able to say, hey, you did this for advantage.
Sorry. These are just going to come out of the bag. There we go.
I never want my opponent to look at me and go, like, you modeled that snow speeder for advantage so you get cover from everything. Like, no.
It's the same thing with these people. There will be people that be like,
that looks like Stormtrooper, you're trying to confuse me. I
Right.
didn't realize it was a Death Trooper or a Judge.
I mean, the model is obvious enough if you know what you're looking at.
right, but if you're not paying attention, I mean, like, if you're not like, oh, let me look at this specifically, like, yeah, I could mistake it for a stormtrooper. Not that I would, but so just ask,
Yeah, no, you
Common sense, no.
look, in my time, common sense is the one thing that I found is not very common.
I don't know. Fake Rashida Jones is texting me.
What?
On Instagram. You know the fake, like, it's like the person's name and then like 17 because the other 16 accounts got like banned already.
Mm-hmm.
Just messing with the computer. I don't know if it's a person or a computer yet. Like a bot.
Oh, ink, finish drawing, please.
I gotta get my stuff. Tell you, it was very satisfying to open up the card packs for the Paladin spells. I didn't know that they were laminated, so I sat there breaking them apart. You know, you like they're like stuck together, and you go, and, like they pop
It's
apart.
weirdly satisfying, I'm so.
I didn't know that they only went to level 5. I guess you just get more slots after level 6 and enhancements.
Oh no, okay, so the max paladin spell, I think, is 5. Spell level.
The different classes at higher levels, then, like a wizard would go up.
Wizard goes up to 9.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. So I'm just going to get more slots, and then I can cast on higher levels, which gives me buffs to all my other spells.
Right, so like when you cast a cure, it's a level 1 spell, but you can cast it as a level 2 or a level 3, and it does more.
I like all the paladins cleansing strikes. I can sear you at level 5, but that does like 60 tens. Wow. I like paladins a lot. I'm glad that I kind of fell into it.
Yeah. Well, you still want to be able to cast some spell.
Let me get my stuff. My 3D goggles on. When I put these on, everything comes in.
Okay, that's what I want. I'm so glad you're all so excited to do this.
What, the painting?
Um,
Or the D&D?
the D&D game.
It's getting better as it goes. This seems like it's going to be like the most in depth. Oh, nice. Should have known.
Hmm?
What's wrong with my trunk? Maybe this is just the damage from before. Did you know you can't tell the difference between cold and wet?
Hmm?
Like when you feel something, your body actually can't tell the difference between cold and wet. Maybe this is just cold.
Alright. I'm still kind of in the midst of deciding on villains. Like, I know the NPCs I want to use, but like, what villains to actually apply for the game. It's gonna be great.
I think this feels better. Hello.
Hi.
Is this where the event is happening?
Which one?
The painting?
Yeah, pull up a seat.
Awesome. I'm really curious. Oh wow. You use like a little camera to get really close? I heard people sometimes use magnifying glass.
Oh, so I'm actually streaming this live.
Oh shit, you don't have a microphone on, do you?
I do, but it's a not safe for work channel. It's all good. Say whatever you want.
I'm so sorry for interrupting your
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. My microphone has more conversations about D&D than actual painting on it.
No, that's fine. I love D&D.
But yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. As
Should we have come here with our, if we brought miniatures, should we have come here with them primed already? Or,
I don't know, I have primer kicked around. It's all good.
I don't know. I know absolutely nothing, and I don't know if you heard, but I recently got a bunch of, don't know if you know, Dungeons and Doggies. Have you ever heard of that?
I've seen them. I want them.
I have the
I
actual,
can't
the one with
justify
the
it.
extra fun.
You want to take a look at it?
I just want to be a corgi wizard. That's all I want.
God, have you seen the Corgi World? I actually have the PDF if you want to look at it too.
It's all good.
You can take a,
Oh my God.
I haven't even opened it yet.
Christine! Dungeon doggies!
Want to see?
I'm hungry too. Sandwich?
I have it. About a giant sink full of ice cream.
Let's, no. It's gonna be a couple of months before we can think about that.
I don't think this guy will. I don't think this good. Guess it was just my imagination.
Do you have to use like this special type of paint, or I heard people sometimes use just acrylic?
Oh yeah, all these are acrylic.
So any acrylic will work?
Yeah, like you can go
Because I have
to Joann's and get the Delta acrylics for $1.
Because I used to be an artist, and ooh, be careful with that.
Oh, you just learned that the paint tastes bad after a while. It's all good.
No, I mean like, have you ever heard of the Radium Girls?
Oh, the radium hasn't been used in paint in a long time. Plus, I'm not painting anything glow in the dark, so I'm a little bit safer on that regard.
Could you?
Now.
Do they have paints that glow in the dark?
They do. My friend was
There
talking
are,
to me yesterday.
there are UV paints that you can get that will react under a black light. That's the stuff you don't want to put in your mouth.
I want to paint the lightsabers that color and then play under a back.
Right. One of the things I've always wanted to do is build an entire tabletop where it's got like interactive features where like you put a smoke generator in it, so like the pipes are just like seeping gas. And everything.
Oh, you know what? They have something like that for, you know, the miniature trains?
Mhm.
They actually have this little thing that you put in the little spout and little puffs of smoke.
Yeah, you can actually buy the unit separate if you want to modify your own engines.
That sounds so cool.
Are you painting them, Mr.
I like doing weird things. What are we getting?
Sure.
Taco Bell?
Well, it looked, I mean, listen.
Okay.
I think they look better than,
Whatever Chrissy.
Whoa.
doing them just straight up black. There's so much detail in the sculpt.
That's full of minis? No
They
way.
are really detailed, so.
Whoa.
Is this
like-
yours?
I'm gonna pull it out. Originally I was gonna sit there, and then this is the more sociable spot.
Oh my god, these are like regular professional boxes. They're mine. They're like worth like 100.
It's not that expensive,
No,
but it's
but like they have like the foam and everything like separates the cells in one.
I have to get these done so I can whip your amp.
You're such a press. I have to paint them. I'm gonna have unpainted stuff probably, just
Dude,
to be
but-
obnoxious.
But me, for my OCD and aneurysm, I want all my stuff to be painted.
Maybe I should field an entirely unpainted army just to see if I throw you off.
That wouldn't trigger me, actually. I don't care about your stuff. I care about my stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, you can roll great tide. I don't care.
No,
I really don't.
This is not good.
So,
What is that good?
how do you want to start? It was really
I
how
don't
this
know.
works.
Like I'm absolutely brand new, so like any any suggestions that you, I don't know if you want me to start with these, or like, I have some bones that are probably like easier because they're pre-primed. I don't know what you think is
Okay,
easier.
so
Even with the Bones miniatures, even though they say they you can just paint right over it,
It's
I
better
don't.
to
not
prime
It's
it
always
first.
better to
No,
prime.
it's been here for like days.
This feels like sludge.
Let's see.
Probably is.
It's still wet, but it's good.
This is
So,
an expensive.
You
do
can always
you have any of
put
your
a
own?
tiny bit of water. If you want.
No, I mean,
But
if
I
not,
wouldn't-
I
if
can always
it's-
just like take
you can
notes
always
and
thin
stuff,
it
and I
down,
can buy
that's
my
okay. As
own
long as you
kits
get
at
the
home,
brush.
and then I can
Yeah.
at the very
Yeah.
least, like that's why I know like what's miniatures are better painted and like some aren't. I know that there are metals and different materials are better to paint than others.
Yes and no. So
And I know
different materials tend to hold different
So if I have
details
to run
better,
D&D today, which I could,
right?
but I
So
don't,
the
but
gnome you have there is probably not as detailed
thinking- I'm
as
feeling
the
like
Arcanist.
Spelljammer, D&D
Yeah.
in space.
That's
kind of
just a
vibe.
habit of metal versus
We should go
that
through it
particular
really quick.
plastic.
Be like, I don't want
Because
to play
one of them
today.
is,
And they'd be like, oh, we
that
want you to
particular-
be
molded,
Dungeon
and one
Master.
of them is.
All right,
Well,
level,
they're all
like,
cast
what
in
is
a
it, like the
right.
danger level? Danger
It's
level
the,
50,
like,
kill you all in one
it's
shot.
the
No, I don't want to do that.
plastic. That particular plastic doesn't have
I'm
very
trying to
crisp
ruin-
details when
ruin
it comes
you
out of the
all.
mold. It's just a
But I
habit
do
of
want to do like
a habit of
space and shit.
the material.
I've been listening to Glory
where
Hammer
metal-
all here, so I'm feeling it.
Tends to hold a lot of
saw them
finer
live with
details
us.
better.
Mhm.
Yes, I know.
And then you have the harder plastic, like the
My
ABS
friend's
plastic
in
here.
June Because he was like, oh, look,
That's
I
a
found
nice in
sweet
between.
concert. Sabaton and Glory Sabaton and
So it's not as
Hailstorm.
expensive as the metal,
I was
but
like,
it
"That's
holds
great."
probably a
And
lot
I
more
was like, "Did you
detail
read the
than
bottom
say
of it?"
this
He said,
cheapy
no.
plastic.
He said, it's in Bogota,
I
and we're not
see.
going to fucking Colombia to
it's
get
always best
captured by the
to-
cartel.
You say it's always best to prime. I'm always afraid, like, when I hear that, I always think that you have to spray paint it, and I always wonder, oh god, what if the paint, like, gets in between, like, all the nice little details, and then it gets
That-
rid of all this nice little, like,
don't-
crevices and details and stuff like that?
So that deals with the quality of the primer you're using.
Okay.
Like if you go to Home Depot and go get like automotive primer, nah, that's going to kill everything.
SPK, baby.
SPK, baby.
If you're looking
Or
for
no, like Ace Hardware or
Oh,
stuff
God, I
like
can
that.
smell
the primer that we
Christ.
carry in the store here, the army painter stuff,
No, like
the way that stuff works is that you
Oh,
spray it,
really?
and yeah, you'll see some of the details
I don't like that
disappear,
stuff,
but
so-
as it
Oh,
dries, it pulls in. Right, so it'll actually keep all the crevices.
Where is the
Like this
bag?
guy, like this one here,
Yeah, it was
I used an
slow.
airbrush to prime.
Oh. So wait, you actually have like a little pump and
I'm pissed.
everything?
Oh yeah, it's sitting right
Styrofoam
next
is
to me.
making a
Whoa,
new
okay.
foam
This is
that
like a
has a
very
loop
expensive
cutout.
copy, like
I've been doing this a long
And
time,
I
so
asked them
it's
if they'd
just
sell it separate.
I've
And they
acquired
were like,
stuff.
sorry, it's part of the starter set.
do you like
And I was like, I really want a
do you ever
starter
get
set.
commissions? Because I heard that some people
Right,
do
oh,
this,
sorry.
and a
Like,
single
yeah,
mini
later.
can go as up as like $25,
Separately.
depending
So
on
I'm
the
gonna go
quality.
like talk to the guy when I go to Gen Con. Bitch at him.
I charge a
Please
lot
give
more
me
than
this
that.
now.
Whoa.
It's all up to the particular artist and how they approach it and how long it's going to take them. Like a character model, I won't
I
look
think
at
they
for
do
less than
look really good in
$90.
white.
I think it'll
Because
look
it
cool.
takes-
It's a different take. I don't think anyone.
I only have so much time to work.
Mhm.
Like I only really work on the weekends when I'm doing my thing.
Mhm.
And
Like every
it depends on my backlog,
The
things that
only
I personally want to
Exception to that
do,
rule is the scout snipers.
and all that fun
But they're
stuff.
kind of
So
vanilla.
a singular miniature can be very expensive,
Mhm.
especially depending on what the customer wants.
Yikes. Oh, because like when I looked up online about all the other people, like especially with the
So I have 7.
Warhammer things, like they have like
Supposed to be
here's
the
like
basics that Alex
just the
gave me.
dry sets, shadows, highlights,
He's like,
details,
do you
and
need
everything
the
else, and
Bistan
it
and
keeps going
Pal?
up,
I
up,
was like,
up,
what's
up,
with
up.
these size?
But I
I
didn't
was
think
like,
they
nope. I was like, you have extra
$8.
pieces so I can base more
Wow.
shit.
Yeah, again, it's an artist to artist thing.
Mhm.
Like it's not something like the industry has a preset for.
This is the only guy that hasn't been based in this
But it
unit yet.
really comes down to like, how much time is this going to take me, and how do I still make it worth my time to do it?
Mhm.
Like,
The green turned
Well,
out
I mean, you
pretty
have
well,
to.
too.
If you go by
Green
how
went
many
pretty well,
hours
too.
you work, and you multiply
Advisor.
that by
I
how
didn't
much
notice.
per
I
hour,
use advisor now.
and then you have to
If,
consider all the materials.
That's why I
that
didn't
you're
notice.
using.
well,
I thought it
the
looked like
materials
shadow
are a
meat.
minuscule cost depending on what you're doing. Because if you're just doing a singular character like this, I'm not. This piece here, I'm not going to be going through entire bottles of paint.
Oh, what?
No,
You
Dan?
can go through entire bottles of paint.
Dan's
with
going to
one?
Pennsylvania for a birthday.
Depends on what
Oh,
I'm doing.
nice.
If I get a commission to do an entire board game, which I have sitting over there,
Wait, you do entire board games?
Yeah, it will. It, again, depends entirely on what the customer wants when it comes to commission work.
You
Like
missed,
Cthulhu
you weren't here
Wars
Thursday,
or
right?
something?
No.
I
Um,
assembled the Room War
People
sets that I've
do
won for losing Battle for Salvation the last 2 years.
yeah. Well, if you have a game with nice miniatures, there's no reason not
So
to.
we have a bunch of D&D
Wow.
menus for our campaign.
Whoa, that
Also,
is
the box is
amazing.
labeled so you know which one it is. Because there are Room Wars boxes in this building, but that one says not Room Wars on it. So
This is not room.
yeah, Sharpie that in there.
So when you go through each of them, do you go like by layer, wait for it to dry, and then just put on a new layer, or do you like mix them
With the
as you go?
Somewhere.
I'm trying to figure out if you go through by a
So-
watercolor or an oil theory.
Is this kind of annoying?
Yes.
'Cause I have
Yes. So,
So,
both.
half the space
a lot of the time, it will depend on what the end result is desired. Like, if you want like
What?
a cape with
What?
very flowing
horns.
colors and everything, kind of like works together. That's a lot of wet blending. That's really where you're going to be doing.
And that's like with the skin. Like I always see like the high quality skin pigments and things like that. That's wet blending.
Wet blending is where the paint is actively wet on the model while you're
And you're working with it while it's wet.
right. So there are pieces I do that will literally encompass every little trick and technique that I know. This is not one of them.
I heard that there's another way where you just literally take a very thin down paint and you just apply it to a crevice and it literally fills in all the other crevices and it just
Yeah,
dries.
that's
that way?
actually already been done. So you see the little
Oh.
panel lines?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that was done. I brought those back with a shade, basically a wash.
Oh man.
Oh, so those are
Used to get
like
out.
just shadows. That's not
Velvet?
actually like
Cause that's
been
Yeah.
refined. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So
It's dry
yeah,
this time,
a
right?
habit of the
No
inks
smudges?
will
No,
be
no
to
more.
just like sit in whatever crevices there
No,
are,
where is the fact that it
and
was
when
wet?
it pools, it'll actually give
It
you
was a
that
bad
darkness that
interaction
you're
with the,
looking for.
spray
Yeah.
lacquer that I had in the paint.
I did something happened with one of my washes. I did that with it turned freaking white.
Now, what do you do like
No, but the
if you
spray
have a
lacquer made
mini
the
on a
paint underneath
stand,
soft,
for example, and you want to get right
And
under
that's
it,
why
in
it
between
smudged
it?
off.
Careful.
Because underneath was still the primed layer.
I guess
But,
like tweezers, or you use thumbtack, or some sort of thing to prop it up.
Well, I have
Oh, you
things
have
like
that.
this.
This is well, that's like a camera.
Oh, by the way,
Oh my gosh.
That is a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? Was that like this is a 40K base?
yeah, it takes 2 to actually clear it.
So
Oh,
you
cool.
could. So is this like a miniature like club or like buddies that just like paint together?
Yes, yes. We spend most of our time insulting each other. It's fine.
Oh, so it's like an artisans guild, like
More
back
or
in the day.
less.
Alright.
More or
You know,
less.
you insult each other, artists like Michelangelo and Da Vinci or whatever.
Wait,
What's up, Cap?
what's going on, bro?
So, dude,
Hi, how are you doing? Oh, sorry, do you want me to move over?
very good.
I kind of want to take these out, but at the same time, I don't want to like ruin the.
You wanted that gold spray paint?
Whoa.
Yes.
Wait.
Okay, so we like we're very involved in running a big tournament coming up for X-Wing, and
Oh no way.
yeah,
I love
So-
watching you guys because it's so cool, but at the same time, like I have no idea really what you guys doing besides measuring all the time.
we don't know what
That's
we're
the
doing
die you
either.
want. You're wrong.
treason.
Dude, the Room Wars dice have double crits on them.
Oh my
But
god.
the event we're
Yeah,
going
not
to
the
this
game I wanna
weekend,
Sorry, I threw them all away.
this model I'm painting up is actually something that I'm raffling off.
Really?
Because it was a we did it as an incentive for players. Hey, sign up, pre-register, and get a shot at winning this model. And
How many
because
pages
the
were there?
entire time up until the last day I had that poll up was a tie the entire way. That goal, we're going to gold spray paint a TIE fighter and raffle that off too, because we're weird and we want to be funny. Like, it was a tie the entire way. Somebody's getting this.
Well, if you want to do something silverish, I got the plate mail primer.
Oh, I've got
That's,
Dan's paint pen still.
Okay.
that's actually kind of cool. Instead of like giving out like trophies or something like that, you give out like little tiny TIE fighters that are like specially colored. And then when you see someone have that, it's like, oh shit.
This is disappointing.
What?
I can't find my gauze.
Good gauze.
Yeah, I was gonna gauze the last guys and then glue on.
Oh.
What do you mean you were gonna gauze?
He was gonna make ghillie suits.
Just gonna make.
Oh.
suits, Yeah.
Okay, so do it later.
That's for later. Be wary, so of what Alex is doing. He spouted a bunch of numbers and letters, so I'm assuming that means he called out from work.
Yeah. ETA 11:30.
That's what he says. He'll be here by 12:30, so.
Yeah.
Ish.
Maybe his wife called him and he has to go back and.
When he gets here.
Yeah, like just.
I keep forgetting they actually
Do you have to buy these paint
That's
singles,
amazing.
or can you buy like a whole set of them for like?
Yeah,
All
but then
of
apparently she
these
regrets it. So
were
it's
in
like
a
a,
set
Oh, really?
for
Yeah.
$100,
Yeah.
and they're $4 a pop. So you're
It's like you're miserable
There are
when
50
you're
of them?
dating
What's
her.
the math
Why
on
the
that?
fuck would you get married?
Misery loves
Yeah.
company, man.
We told him that for like 3 years and he just never listened. I finally got married. Like,
Oh, he's miserable with her.
So yeah.
I thought it was
So
the
you're
other way
saving
around.
50%, buying
You can't say
everything
anything
as like
about
a kind of like a kickstart to your paint collection.
This is one of
The Citadel stuff,
No,
which is
not
the
why you get
the
married.
small
No.
pots,
For
I
tax
bought separately
purposes?
because I wanted specific colors. But sorry.
Is it better to just mix the colors instead of just buying the single pots?
That more matters on your particular style of paint.
Want me to turn around?
Oh.
As you grow
It's like
in the,
you're pretty much
in the
done. You
hobby,
just put in the black.
you'll tend to find that like, well,
Well, I'm doing them all.
I don't
I'm
like
all the
doing
black
this
first.
jump from
Yeah.
And then
this
they're gonna get
this
washed
base
and then
red to
dry
the
brush,
next
and then that's
level. I want a more
Not a whole lot.
a more
Is that chronic?
Gradual.
That's good, yeah.
more gradual
We'll do 'em like,
transition. So
you know
you'll
what you
start
said, is there-
mixing the paints on your
Her
own.
father, dressed.
I mean, like if you're gonna be doing
The
an entire
same way.
army,
So
yeah, you may
red-
want to buy
red
that
suit.
entire bottle, but
That's
Yeah,
gonna
the
be
black
awesome.
hair with the.
Not necessarily.
You keeping the thing in the family there, red cape for everyone, all the commanders?
No, he's just primed red, because it's the easiest thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I might do the back of the cape black and the inside of the cape red.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Grievous thing.
oh, they even have guides on
I
them?
can't even remember. I haven't seen that stuff.
Yeah, right?
That fucking
Mind if
Kruger's
I take a look?
busted as fuck. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you can build. Now you have to have 3 of them, so you can build all 3, or 2, and then magnetize his arms for the
That's my
2-arm
favorite.
variant. Yeah, yours is obviously more used. I haven't painted in months.
Oh, so instead of like doing a primer of white, you could also do a primer of whatever massive skin tone you're using or
Might be
base
a
coat.
no trooper.
Yep.
Nice.
But that one putting the ghillie suits over
So
them,
there-
so
there's,
the underneath didn't matter as much.
So
No, it
fun
doesn't.
facts: there's no actual right way to do this.
Really?
Okay.
It's all experimentation?
It's finding what your groove is, right? Just keep going with it.
Oh, you
At the end of the day, it's gonna look like lipstick on a pig until you're finished.
Mm.
Well, that's true.
the
But
guy that has the green
Is
wash.
there such a thing as working
do have
on
green
a
wash, I just
miniature
bought some.
way too
Nice,
long to
'cause
the
I
point where
greenwashed the
it's
gun. I wanna greenwash
you
everyone's
can't
guns.
save it anymore?
It's not the camo green
well,
wash.
if
it's
you ever
the-
if you ever
No,
get
it's
to a
just-
point like
this is
that,
green.
it's
This is solid green.
No, but there's
you
2
can
types
always
of green wash.
strip the paint
I
off.
think I just use a regular
Then you have to
green
start
wash.
over.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
yeah,
it's
you're gonna have to
green.
start
It
over.
might have
But
been yours, to be honest.
No, I just bought it like yesterday.
Okay, then it wasn't.
Paint.
When is Mr. Knight placed
Can you say? I don't know.
Mighty number 9.
the cats might be demanding attention. So
Yo, he took a picture of the cat with its tail flapping. It's like, yo, what did you do to scare your cat to take the picture?
when I think it was Leo, his tail was like puffed up like that.
Cats fluke their tails when they're scared.
Not all the time.
They don't do it for fun.
What if they just have a fluky tail?
His don't though. It's like that's like, what are they called? The cat that begins with an M.
The Maine Coon.
I mean,
Yeah, Maine Coons have fluke tails.
because they are made of floof.
Yes. They're fluke-tastic. He's fluke-tastic.
So, green wash, literally just purchased. They have another one called Camo Shade,
That's fine.
which is more of a darker olive green. This is more of a richer, vibrant green.
Should I wash my brushes and pull in spring today? Be fancy.
I don't think I'll need a glove right now.
Yeah, let's use that.
I will need. I don't need glue. Oh, there it is. I need my paint handle.
I got that.
Yes, I will take some. Thank you.
Dry brushing? Oh, that's when you want to get dustings. Okay. Okay, that's more just something I would do in oil painting.
My favorite part of the work we did last week.
What?
I have a footrest now and everything.
Yeah, right? Well, you're not even on the wood.
Yeah, this one has the cart, but now I can move
I like
up.
the cart better, actually.
Yeah, until someone rams it and
Yeah, and
brushes
then
your foot.
Fucks your toe.
So this might be the wipey one. Maybe this will be my dry brushy one. The dry
Nope.
brush.
There you go. It's gonna have to work wide instead of tall.
I did.
So we're working on this guy next, Mr. DLT.
Family name?
Sure. So we're gonna need to push this a little bit. Doing an outline here of new black, orange, orange juice. Would be nice. Some white in case we need white.
You always need white.
That's racist.
No, in painting you always need white. White's your biggest tube by default.
Sure.
White is a dirty color.
It is. That's why I hate having it on like cars. Yeah, just black and white right now. I still hate. I hate wispy tip.
Hmm?
I hate wispy tip so much.
Look at you and your fancy
On the
pants.
brushes.
Hmm.
Drives me up the wall.
So,
Like to the point where I can't use these brushes to highlight at all.
yeah.
Because it annoys the crap out of me.
So on occasion, these brushes have a habit of like a hair splitting out of the furrow, and it doesn't want to go back, no matter how much you redress it.
It is still pink. That's
Yeah.
nice.
So it's just, it's
Like, what are you using? The high quality brushes, or using the just plain old rose art? Looks like you're using.
Maybe drops of medium and put in something to make it.
Like a wash.
My brushes,
no,
I
like,
tend
just
to
keep
use
it-
Winsor Newtons.
Keep it wet.
They're the Series 7 Sables. I also
Because
tend
you
to use a set of
Are you trying to just
Kolinsky
keep it
brushes.
wet?
And I'm also gonna
Most people tend to be using like Golden Taklon.
Oh, you're thinning it?
Yeah,
If you only need to thin it, you just need a little bit.
Okay.
You could use water actually to thin paint. If you're using a medium, that's how you kind of make like a wash
Mm-hmm.
or an ink.
Well, one of the guys I watched.
Medium is pigmentless paint.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have like 3 parts of that medium, or even 2 parts, like 1 part of a paint, it's going to be a custom wash.
See how it goes on.
I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Where am I? Right here. Got it. Let's see here. Where do we want to start? We'll start right down.
Dude, it had a bloody sparkler on it.
Oh, next time we go, come with us, do the 2-pound burger challenge.
Okay.
I could do a 2-pound burger challenge. I don't know about the kitchen sink.
I feel like the burger challenge is easier than the 2 gallons of ice cream.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's not even a question. Where was that place?
Massapequa.
Ugh. So far
What?
away. Now I'm singing Dragon Force. It's all Steve's fault.
Not my fault. I'm the one listening to them all the way in.
I was listening to Warhammer.
It's not a big step.
No, it isn't. It's not at all. A little bit more water in this. Oh no, it's me.
How do you protect the acrylic paint after you're
Sorry
done with
for
them?
So usually just spray varnish will work.
Spray varnish?
Yeah.
Are you worried about like, how glossy it'll make them afterwards?
Well, I tend to use just a matte coat, so not really. You can candy shell them pretty easily with going with like a gloss coat then to a matte coat.
That's what I do. I don't want to ever work on these ever again.
I mean, that's the one problem with acrylic paint is that it's so water soluble that any moisture that gets on it's going to ruin it.
Yep, I found out about that yesterday.
Oh no!
Don't bring that up.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's just gonna get stripped again. No big deal. One of the two are done. That's all that matters.
What's up?
They gave me the wrong sausage burrito.
Oh?
What do you mean wrong?
There's a wrong sausage burrito?
Yeah, I ordered the bigger ones. I got the smaller ones.
Oh, that's balls.
Oh no, if you paid for that, no, you should go back and complain.
I'm not
She
going
said.
back.
But you paid for that. You paid for the larger ones. They owe you dollars. I don't even know if I paid for the larger ones.
Do you have the receipt? No, wait a minute.
Sorry for hovering, by the way. I'm just super
No.
curious and nosy.
Go right ahead.
All right. Well, you got what you paid for.
Yeah, which is less food.
Yeah. But it is less money. I'm just trying to be positive.
I got a positive.
Thanks, Gustav.
That's why I'm trying to give you some of mine. Because I'm about to lose it when I'm painting these fucking things. The only ones in these Death Troopers I don't like is the guy throwing the nade.
Yeah, because it looks like he is a gymnast.
Dave, there's also a 12-pack of the Cinema
He's
Joy.
trying to prove how
Oh, really?
flexible he is. Yeah, I wonder why.
But you were there. Back with my character. This
When I trapped the dragon in the maze forever, he was really angry.
Who would have thought?
So, yeah. Thanks. Been behind that counter too long. I don't want to hear how your D&D character does things.
You know, on my personal level.
What?
Oh,
No. I've been working here for 17 years.
Oh my God.
I've heard more stories about D&D characters than I ever wish to recount.
Some of them are funny.
Most of them are bad.
Most of them are sad.
It's bad.
Oh, really?
It's most of the
This
time
is a
because
K2
it's
moment.
like
It's bad.
It's
Bad,
really bad.
I never hear people like just share stories that aren't funny or interesting.
Well, what's interesting and funny to one person might not be to the other. Which is the problem that was
Maybe it's just a point of view because that's what the most amazing thing they have currently.
Maybe.
And maybe they just haven't seen as epic adventures as you have.
I'm not talking about me personally, I'm talking about just like in general.
Oh.
Especially if you're, if you've worked here for 17 years, it gets stale after a while.
That's kind of sad.
It's his life. This doesn't go on really clean, but I actually kind of like the dirty.
Well, that's because it's more of a washish now.
This is the wash. I poured a little bit out just to see what the difference was.
I'm talking about. Oh, you're using the medium?
The medium is on the legs.
Okay.
So that's definitely like a wash.
Yeah.
I didn't even put a lot in. So I think Angel Green's just naturally like.
Oh, the Army
dilute.
Painter paints are naturally like watery,
Yeah.
especially if you don't shake the crap out of them.
Can't get that suspended.
Like you gotta shake it like a baby.
Please do not shake your babies like that.
I shouldn't shake my babies at all. I just pick them up like a primer spray can.
I don't know. Some
Who wants
babies like
margaritas?
So there's actually something I need to pick up because of these bloody Army Painter paints. Like, I love their quality when they're working right, but the paint pots are about the right size for nail polish shakers.
Nice.
So, like, I don't have to sit here
Shaking it.
yeah, rubbing
Pop
one
it in the
out.
thing.
Yeah, I can just like turn it on and like leave it for a couple of minutes.
I do like that. That looks nice.
Why not just drop a bead in there?
As with these.
Sometimes paint just goes on in a way it looks cool.
So everything else in that row isn't, so.
I wish I loved gold as much as sure this paint does.
Dude, change his name to fucking gold member.
Oh my god, we should.
Hello,
Change your name in the chat.
You can't. I love it too.
You can change your own name. Oh, you don't have internet? You can get someone else's internet and then change your own name.
What was that? Soul wants to be gold member now?
Oh, he's going on.
Yeah, go for it. You're
Sorry,
not wrong.
it's not like your name's gonna change in 15 minutes
wrong.
anyway. So
Oh shit! This book is British.
color.
I'm wondering like why is this all spelled weird?
For all the crap that we give the English language, they took British and they said this is too stupid and complicated, and they started dropping letters. And then they took other things that made it excessively more complicated.
No.
English isn't a language.
There are more?
It's a compilation of languages.
How big is your guild?
Oh,
What, we got like 20 dudes? Maybe
You
less?
something like that.
20?
Probably.
I don't know.
Official count according to our Discord is 21.
You have a Discord?
Yeah, we use it to coordinate and yell at each other. Mostly yell at each other.
Yeah,
Look,
just more
You know what would cause that? Like, you see that white, the
It
white
allows us
spot underneath the
24
belt?
access to calling each
I
other
put,
idiots.
I put a wash on them and it turned it white.
Whoa.
Like
God
foam.
forbid if you mess up in tournament.
What wash did
Tear
you
into
use?
you.
Null oil.
So the main
Nice place.
Hey, Mr. Mighty number
I
9.
cleaned it all off, but
I
like,
have no idea.
yeah, it was sweet.
Oh no, yeah, I see it right there.
I mean, I obviously missed a little bit, but yeah, I washed them really quick, and I was like, cool, I'll let it sit, and then it started like,
I have no idea. It was just null oil?
I mean, I'm assuming it reacted with something on the mini, but
Maybe. I don't know. That's weird.
it was weird.
Just like how my fucking paint just kind of melted off. It was perfect. It was done, and then I went to pull it off the peg,
Yeah,
and everything shifted.
that's weird too. It's like dead, like burnt skin.
Yeah.
I wish they taught
So
portrait.
like, ugh. I'm getting to the point where I wish I had an even bigger brush.
A lot of
You want a big brush?
a lot of the techniques you learn in like classical
Because this is
painting
good for
can
getting
be
into the
applied to
joints.
this.
I don't know if I want something bigger for that.
No, I have big
I
flat.
bet if I took like a course in like diorama creating, that
I've
would
got
also help.
flats. I use those more for
Whoa.
highlighting.
This is still wet.
You're really just going from a flat canvas to a 3D canvas. So it's just kind of making that
We'll
adaptation.
just paint these basic, and it's gonna
Yeah,
cover
it's
them
just,
up anyway.
but there are a lot more techniques in here that I'm used to.
Yeah.
I'm more used to
I'm gonna
acrylic,
paint the faces
but
in
in one technique, so I'm not
differently.
used
Like
to
I'm gonna take the
using
this
washes
guy is gonna I
only
think have a
or
blue
using a
head.
primer
I'm
and
gonna
then
put like
doing
You know how like people take the black grease paint and they go like this?
Yeah.
Well, I do something like that.
Really?
Makes me wish I stayed in art.
You gotta be careful though.
Almost.
The last unit I did, I had to basically paint most of their faces kind of dry brush black because they
don't feed ya.
almost blackface somebody.
No, not really.
So what? It's on a miniature. It doesn't count. It's historically accurate.
Racism doesn't count if it's on a miniature.
No, it doesn't. It's historically accurate.
What? Are you
I told
talking
him
about?
that I dry brush black on someone's face because you know how like the Vietnam
Oh.
people like
Yeah,
would,
the
like,
grease
go like
paint.
that with grease paint.
Yeah, the
So I
anti-glare
tried
grease.
to do that and it ended up looking like blackface, so I had to keep putting dry brush on to like really like coat their face.
You know what actually gets the like? You're looking for like a texture effect, right?
Ooh
You could stipple it.
yeah. You mean like
That-
smush the brush?
Yeah.
Well, not so much stipple. It's
Yeah, like you know that one painting
Okay.
with the, only the dots on it.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
especially with a dry brush stippling will give you that texture that you're looking for.
Well, we're past it already. So.
I think it's worth it.
You guys playing X-Men? Yeah, of course, obviously. So,
No.
What other game did I play, Steve?
Oh.
Rune Wars.
find this zucchini.
Hide the salami.
Hide the salami. There you go. That's the game he likes to play with John DiMaggio, right?
Him and Kreiner.
There you go.
I bet DiMaggio is gonna come next week with this stupid CIA swarm list. Energy shells.
Well, he'll get torped all the same.
Not everyone can just torp him to death, Gus. We're not all you.
No, but I'm gonna torp him with my torps.
I'm gonna torp him with my homing missiles.
That's not torping now. That's homing missile.
This missile.
Yeah, it's homing.
I want to approach his unit and be like, take a damage or risk 4, and then do that 4 times, and then he's like, wait a second, I only had 4 hull on my Aether Sprayers.
Oh, what? Homing missile swarm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a V19 homing missile swarm could be scary as hell.
So I made a
Didn't you
list.
post that?
I
with
made
Wolf?
4 V19 gold squadrons with homing missiles, and then Wolf with the veteran tail gunner, perceptive co-pilot, expert handling, shield upgrade.
I saw Fat Wolf and 4 V19. If you trim down Wolf, or go to Sinker to make your V19s better in the knife fight, I think it might work out better.
Sinker's more expensive though. That's the problem.
Only by a few points, man.
It is only by a few points, but I was talking to Dan about it yesterday. They have the target lock already. Is it 11:30 already?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Like, yo, you're alive? Talking about,
They don't expect him to be on time.
Does he always show up late to things?
Yeah, he's like up here at noon and he comes at 1 and he's like, oh, sorry.
I only had like one game
I
that
was
was
like,
a
oh,
blowout.
can I
The
join
game
the
I
league?
lost was a
Even though
blowout.
like it's 20 months over.
Those were
I'm
all
glad you said something because I missed that whole conversation, so like it probably would have been too late.
Where'd you get it from?
No.
No.
You won't play.
I'm waiting for a big pro claw order.
Look what Alex did to me. He deformed.
It's just basic because I can't stand it regularly. Yeah, and then the basic colors like blue and white. I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
I like the stress.
I don't know about you.
I don't know what state it is. This is like I fucking told you.
I still have to paint his butt.
One of the
Iowa,
squadrons.
maybe?
I hate assembling them
I'm
and
gonna
then
make us,
priming them.
Dude,
Oh, your guys don't
These
have capes.
guys were a pain in the ass to assemble.
I saw there were a lot of
I
parts.
also saw the Crow
It's not even that, but like all of them, like for some reason, this forearm,
Yeah.
you had to just put in separately on like every fucking mini,
And it comes with a whole
and it
set.
like locked in so weird. It's like trying to figure out where the fuck does this actually go.
That was like the Rune Wars guys.
And then it comes with like 8 or 10
And the
If there's
the
like
dudes with the
no,
pistol,
get rid of the other
their
guy.
guns, you have to kind of like free glue.
Oh, they had the flat edge on one side or something like that.
I brought
So-
the promo one.
Like if you see here, the gun is a separate piece.
Yeah, and the strap to the strap.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like from here and all the gun
Yo, people are selling
is
like on
free.
eBay, there's
So like
such a
you
spread.
had to like make it fit up against like that strap
Yeah.
and this one here.
It's
That's
like,
weird, but I guess it's
if your
cool if
search
they're
engine
doing that.
works,
I mean, listen, it's
how
only
you
going to get more
possibly spend
difficult.
150
Yeah, it's
If
only
they
gonna be more
switch
of a
to
pain
hard
in the ass,
plastic
right?
and they put everything on screws, it's going to be harder to put them together.
And I guess everybody who was rebel.
But all they're doing that for right now is CIS. Sorry, did I hit you?
No, I was worried that this was
Oh,
a
okay.
bladder thing and I was going to topple it.
I sometimes
It's like, yo,
jiggle
don't
out
you
of
guys like
the
Nobody
cart around.
robots. Nobody cares about
Yeah,
robots.
like how you gonna sell anything?
Dude, that's the one thing I'm really looking forward to about doing
That's
CIS
so
is
many
just
of them.
brown, wash, and then done.
I'm telling you, when CIS comes out for
Sepia,
Legion,
dude. They look great in Sepia.
when CIS comes out in Legion, I want to do a challenge and stream the entire build and paint in one day.
It kind of is.
You could probably do that.
Building and painting them all in one day is akin to eating that damn ice cream, buddy. They look.
No, the droids you could do it. The thing I would be kind of worried about is Grievous.
I've got to take it so bad.
No?
No.
Okay. Nah.
Now I will paint him in one day. Unlimited poses.
I'm only ever going to use the 4 lightsaber pose, so I don't care.
Is the quick shade really worth
I would actually. I'm more of a fan of the two.
It's
pose.
again, it
I
comes down
think
to
it's
what you're
personally
going
more
for.
menacing.
The quick,
But
if
it's like it's gonna coat everything
It's more
in one
commandery, but if
shade
you
of-
want like
like,
balls
what
to the
if you-
wall.
What if you have one skin
He's
tone
like, I was
and then
trained
a
in your
different
Jedi
tone
art
of
by
metal
Count
tone?
Count
I mean,
Dooku,
you
and he
don't
turns
want
himself into a
brown
fucking like buzzsaw.
metal.
I'm like, how did Christopher Lee do this with 4 arms? How did
Well,
what did he do to
if
teach
you
him that?
watch Rebels, then you figure out that some of them had spinny lightsabers, so that's where he learned.
Oh my god.
I love. You guys have all seen Rebels, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
When the Inquisitor first shows up and he spins the lightsaber, and it's like a running joke for like 3 episodes where they keep saying, "Does your lightsaber do that?" And he's like, "No!" Like, and they're like running away.
I wish mine did that.
Maybe they learned. Wait, which way? What they learned it from Grievous. So the Inquisitors are trained in Dooku's Jedi arts.
Alright, so you have crack.
So much.
I hate me too, but you know I've learned to live with myself.
Well, it beats the alternative question.
Well, it's been 32 years. I'm not going anywhere, so
No, not yet.
that is an idle threat.
No, it isn't.
I'd say it. Yeah, I think it is.
That's right.
Grievous is so gross,
It's
man.
a promise.
Okay.
well, all right then.
Remember, I watched Highlander. I know that when I take your head off, it has to come completely off.
There you go.
Do you time how fast you have to dry, or do you do a test pass?
Hmm?
Like, if you want to add a new layer onto what was once wet, do you just do a test tap, or?
A lot of the time, it's just I'm eyeballing it.
Oh, I would never.
When you get experience, you tend to
No.
know.
Yeah, like I've actually been doing this for about 20 years.
So would you consider yourself then a level 20 painter, miniature painter?
There's levels.
I didn't know there were levels, but sure. I was thinking more of like journeyman, master, apprentice.
I consider myself the Grand Wizard.
There you go, the Grand Wizard of Painting.
We're not affiliated at all with the KKK, though.
Oh my god.
There's a tiny little strip of white.
There's some days I hate you guys, by the way.
You hate me?
Like, just all of you in general.
Listen, I have to represent Dan when Dan's not here, so
He's got his vaccines ready to
the
go.
Deadpool's back on, boys.
Is there ever a time when you paint something not true to the original intended art just for the hell of it?
Yep, all the time.
These are Death Troopers. They're supposed to be black.
All black. Like every.
But I
I'm
mean-
doing them like Stormtroopers.
But I mean, like, exceedingly fallible. Like, I mean, like, pink Star Troopers, or, like, I don't know.
I think you should paint them.
I don't
pink,
think
Gus.
I've done anything gaudy.
Garrett Twinkletoes.
Like, something, like,
Your
absolutely
Vader is
horrifying.
like on the
Sergeant
road.
Garrett Twinkletoes.
I have that.
I mean, like, is it just for fun that sometimes they do that, or is it, like...
It's just I don't know.
You got
It's
A
personal
lot of the
preference.
time, so a lot of the times, the way I usually define it is, they're your toys, do what you
Fun.
want.
It was so fun.
Have a good time.
Fun.
So no one can really badmouth you about how you paint your...
Listen,
They can say whatever they
This is-
want,
this
but
is a-
they're yours.
it's a
They're your
game,
dudes,
and you have to have fun, and if part of having fun is paying them the way that you like, then that's how you should do it. So,
Like,
They're your dudes.
yeah, unless someone's paying them for me
Then
for
they're-
free.
But they're still your dudes.
Well, I'm saying if they're gonna do the work for free, then they can paint them true to
Make
true to the movie.
executive decisions, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll try again next time.
Alright, so if you had to. Okay, so which of you guys in your entire group do you feel like is the top contenders
Oh, for
For
painting or
painting?
for painting, I guess?
Probably Dave,
Oh.
obviously. Mr. Golden Demon finalist over here.
yeah,
Technically, Matt got a first place award,
yeah.
even though I don't
Matt's a
recognize
challenger
it.
to the throne.
Even though I don't
Why are you
recognize it at
taking
all.
it away? He got second place at Adepticon, I think, in the
No, I thought he
last
got
chance
first
qualifier.
place.
No, he got best painted army.
He got best painted army at Adepticon.
Yeah, first place.
Yeah.
You
I
sure?
was there.
Yeah, dude, he posted the medals on Facebook.
I watched the stream, so
And he's
No, he
rocking
took
the
first.
retro shirt. I like it.
He took best painted army, and I took third best.
Nice.
It was awesome.
See, if I was there, I'd fight you for
Now,
that.
when they judge you
I
on
just
that,
murder you.
do they judge you on like the detail, or do they judge you on like the style?
To be honest, I have no idea.
Usually it's very
did anyone come by and
Subjective.
like go like this and
Subjective.
like, look at your stuff?
Subjective.
Yeah.
Like,
So
it's
there's
not
no
like
real point system.
Yeah, so at the end, when we did our lunch break, they said if you want your armies judged, leave out your army
Okay.
with a slip that has your name on it. And the tournament organizer and two other folks from Adepticon came by, and they like looked at each one and they talked for a few minutes and took notes on them.
Cool.
And then it was also, I think it was also about being thematic and like true to Star Wars, because that guy who has that really well done like Black Legion Imperial forces with the banners and everything, they came over, they looked at it, and they were like, and moving on. They looked at it for about 3 seconds and then bounced.
Okay.
Because the whole point of it is like, if it looks like Star Wars,
It has to look kind of like the movie.
yeah, they wanted it to be like a representation of Star Wars.
original.
Yeah,
Well,
not
not-
this
not
like.
even
Yeah,
a-
it was. I'm good. It
not
wasn't
even a-
just like, oh, your technical paint skills are cool. It was more
Yeah.
about how,
Thematic, yeah.
How
how it,
close is it to the original movie?
well, it was almost like the feel of it. So if it felt Star Wars, they were like they got a
liked
better
it,
vibe
yeah.
about it.
They said that my purple Mon Cal sniper was like the thing that sold them on it. They're like, everybody just paints theirs like tan, whatever, but the purple one was like really a big draw for them. That's why they kept coming back to it.
yeah.
That's cool.
Little things like that can help differentiate an entire paint
So
scheme
paint
for
a
an
purple
army.
one.
Just one little.
There you go.
It's like a
You
portfolio.
That's the trick to get
Right.
third place at Adepticon for painting.
Yo,
Purple
I'm gonna-
Moncal,
I'm
that's
gonna
it.
have
You can
all-
just do garbage for the rest
all
of your army.
plastic, gray plastic, and then one purple Moncal, and they're like first
Ooh.
place.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of higher level tournaments now are gonna go 3-color minimum.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know
Because
about
they don't,
that.
especially for like big tournaments. Like, first of all, Adepticon, every game they play is 3-color minimum.
You know what you could
They
say though?
do not allow gray plastic whatsoever, and it has to be based too. You can't go with non-based.
You know what you could say though? You could technically tell them that technically black and white are not colors. They're shapes.
Oh jeez, now you're fucking with my shit, my
No.
color
Yeah,
minimum
but
here.
Even so if you just
So
took
all
a
the
model
Imperial
and
players
put
are
like
out.
3 stripes of colors on there,
Judge,
that's
he's
not
got
gonna
2
fly.
colors on his stormtroopers.
It has to actually look like you try to paint it. It doesn't have to be masterwork. You know, it doesn't have to be flawless, but it has to
Just
be.
I'm
an
gonna
attempt.
paint
Look like you
this.
put the effort in.
Yeah, exactly. Because they don't want people coming just to put unpainted models on the table and kind of ruin it for everybody else who's spent a lot of time trying to be.
I'm
I
gonna
wish
paint,
we did
I'm
like a
gonna paint
painting thing
single
for
colored
X-Men.
minis,
That's-
and then I'm gonna paint their boots brown, and then just gonna take purple and just put a stripe across them.
They won't like that.
It's 3 colors.
The stripe thing doesn't. They don't like that. They specifically say it needs to be an attempt.
Then
If
I'll-
you just put a stripe
I'll
down the
paint
middle,
it- I'll
they'll
paint
say
his
no
sleeve.
go.
I'll paint their sleeves. One sleeve.
Wait,
purple.
what about the
That's
whole like?
different.
Remember that one movie where like they had the blood on this? Why don't you do some like a nice war paint?
That's what I'm gonna tell them. Remember that?
Yeah,
War
you can
paint.
do that.
Something more tribal-ish.
You can do that.
Or like an
I hate me
army
too,
army
but-
pattern.
So I brought the Rune War stuff if you want to take a look at it.
I
I'll
thought
look at the paint job, but
I have one room.
I thought Alex was
You want
making that a
one?
permanent.
Yeah.
You can
if you don't want to,
Oh, you too?
If you don't want it, you can always donate it to the
What
D&D.
is-
Is that like the
things.
bridesmaid's present? Here's
Citadel paint pot
fucking.
thing
Yeah,
now.
but
Yeah.
it's got like
One in the
holes in it, so you can
Oh.
clean easier.
Honestly,
Rib for your
You
painting
should have
pleasure?
saved your
Yes,
money.
and then
Oh.
this-
Oh,
no,
that's
the
dope.
I did it ahead
There's
of
also
time.
somebody
It
that
was
made an
like-
STL for it that fits a ring around it and is just multiple holes for brushes.
Nice. So that was the other thing I want to say. I really do want to get
I wish I
a
had that when I
Prusa
was doing
3D
oils.
printer.
I think they're going
And
Soda post.
I'm gonna,
Freaking
I'll put up more than
paint
half of it
thinner.
because I'm gonna be the one who's gonna hold on to it.
Aren't
But
they like $700 though?
for the kit, 1,000 fully assembled and functional.
Paint thinner
Oh
for
my
this,
God.
actually.
And so the difference is you
Wonder
can
what that
for
would be like
$750 you can
instead
get the
of-
basic one unassembled. You got to put everything together. Or for 1,000 you get the premium heated plate with it too. So if you buy that
what that
upgrade
means.
separately, it's so the print bed that it prints on.
It's heated, I get that, but
Yeah.
what's that for?
So it's coated with a special coating that allows, and the heated plate. Once you're done with the print, you just take it, you go boom, and it goes pops right off.
Yeah, there's
The other
no
one,
like
you have to
chiseling.
put
or-
alcohol on it
Okay.
and like keep it like it's a pain in the butt. And that's a $200 upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
So I might as well spend the extra $50 to have the whole printer come with the plate assembled.
Yeah,
So-
at that point,
that's
yeah.
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then so what I was gonna say is anybody who contributes to it, I'll just put a Google Doc roster and you can put whatever you want printed. Just send me the file and I'll put it in there. I'll cover the cost for the PLA and everything else or whatever medium you want to print it on because that printer can handle everything.
Mm-hmm.
It can take all medium. The other ones, like, you can get the, there's like an Autobot or something on Amazon for like $300, but it can only print
This is not a list that you fucking
like the crap stuff.
Right. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
So,
I
because
mean-
I want to do a couple months. Any contributions are awesome, and then we can just have that. And I'm gonna run that thing 24/7.
you could be like a Patreon. It's like a Patreon page.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna, like I can give you
Yeah.
$1, and he's like, "Wow, you get a thank you for that donation."
Because what else I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that subscription to Imperial Terrain.
Mm.
So for $10 a month, they send you a new STL file for Terrain every month, and then if you do $15, they give you access to the entire library
Mhm.
of files, and you get a new one from Secret Forge, who does the alternate prints for Legion. You get one of their STL files every month.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, Dan's also been building up a nice collection of free ones off Thingiverse.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and then if he has prints that we want printed too, I mean so the Prusa has the ability to print fast at good quality or print
Oh,
slow.
you get your Prusa.
Yeah, a Prusa i3 MK3.
I was actually just looking at the S because it's cheap.
Yeah, that's the latest
When are we
one.
setting one up here?
What?
When are we setting it up here?
I want to.
The only thing with
You
that
could get-
that is the
if
smell.
Gil invests in
It'll
it.
smell a little funny. The melting plastic.
Well, yeah.
Gil wants to invest in one.
Yeah,
Does he?
throw it in the basement.
Honestly, all he has to do is
Low down there is terrible and dusty as all hell.
Okay.
what I want to do is get Gil to give me that corner
Go read about this.
to set up the streaming equipment, and then we just double duty the stream box to be the printer.
Maybe.
Because I was gonna say,
It actually doesn't require a lot off the
if you had
PC.
that 3D printer, once you do it, you can get plexiglass from Home Depot and put it around there so nobody can finger bang it when it's printing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you can just like have it on display.
Yeah.
No, that's the plan.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. The Prusa is the best printer out there.
The ink though is so expensive.
On Amazon, you get a kilo of filament for
But then
I
you
think
have,
it's
and then you have to
like
figure out
$18, $19.
and then you need a program for it, and each
It
different.
comes with it.
Okay, but do you know like
The Prusa
you
comes
have
with
to be
slicer
trained for
software.
it though?
Well, that's not that hard.
I mean,
The biggest thing is the STL file because that's pretty much those images are already rendered for you. So then you just need to place it in the program so it prints appropriately on your surface.
I mean, I had to take a quick 20-minute course on how to do one of those.
The
for
3D printers are
process.
pretty awesome. It would really we could virtually print hundreds of pieces of terrain
We could.
within a couple months.
I was tempted to do that with Hero Forge, but then I remembered that would be a very bad idea with the quality.
So it depends on the speed. If you're trying to do a whole bunch of stuff quickly and you don't really care about the quality as much, then you can print it fast. But if this thing can print without, when you see the 3D printed stuff and it has like gradient lines and stuff, you can set the
Grids in
Prusa.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can set the Prusa to not have that. You can change the nozzle to a 0.2 and slow the speed down, and it won't print with any ribs.
Yeah, but
That's cool.
since we're just one of our main concerns is just printing out a bunch of terrain. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
You just
and then
sand it down, and then you're good.
you don't even need
Shit,
to do
nah.
that.
Really?
Automotive primer.
Yeah,
It fills it
auto
in.
primer
Okay.
fills the gaps in.
What? Well, you can just set up like a what do you call it? A mini budget where you add money to it over time, and then you
I've
can
already
get
been
it.
saving for it because I wanted it for a long time. I just want to see if
Well, I
we
mean,
can accelerate the process and see if anybody else wants to
if you
contribute.
do that, then you could probably get it by Christmas,
We can definitely get it by Christmas.
and then you can make it like a big Christmas bonanza, like, and you can have a big unveiling party.
Even if I get money,
This month is rough for me because I just bought the truck.
dude,
I mean, like you're
it's
gonna.
not. I don't even care if people want to contribute after I already have it.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
You know. Because at the end of the day, it's still going to be my printer. But if people want to pay me to ease it on my wallet and then use it, that would be fine too.
Seems good.
Well, a lot of new stuff is going to be coming out, so there should be a bit new income coming in, especially with like the War of the Spark stuff.
Well, that's something I had to talk to Gil about.
Oh, it sounds like there's some. How to say
At
something sour.
Adepticon, we saw this guy who 3D printed mines
Yeah.
for the minefield
I
mission.
did too.
Oh, nice.
He printed them on the bases from these, so like the mine stuck above it, but it was on a base like this size, so it was the same as the objective tokens.
Yeah, that guy's PLA.
Mhm.
I mean, that guy's his STL file comes with a 3D printed base
Yeah, that's what
for
did.
the mine. Yeah,
It might actually be the same STL.
it could be. Yeah, his mines look pretty cool.
Can I
Let me go get my stuff.
Can I ask a really stupid question?
Sure.
This is not the same as that, right? Two
What?
different games. This.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, that's X-wing. This is Legion.
Right,
What
'cause,
he's
like,
painting is X-wing.
Okay, because like,
That is the same as
because
that.
all I remember is like they're both, you know, like that, and I thought, wait, these are pretty big to be in.
Yeah, no, they're different games made by the same company, but they're different.
Do they operate by
Universe, too.
similar principles, like with the measuring thing? With the measuring
They're
principle?
pretty different. They're pretty different.
Which one do you enjoy more?
I'm better at X-wing, but Legion is more enjoyable. Up until my back starts hurting.
Why? Oh, because you have to lean over.
Just leaning over. The games are quicker in X-wing. They're only 75 minutes long.
Only
Maximum?
75 minutes.
Maximum, they're 75 minutes long. Legion they're
So
2-hour
120,
rounds,
yeah.
Whoa.
and it goes to time more in Legion than it does in X-wing. Am I missing anything? I'm not missing.
Do you use reference images or just go by what you feel?
It's kind of going by what I feel. Like, you could tell, like, where... Because I want him to look like a stormtrooper. It's like, alright, so anything that's the actual armor, I want white. Anything that's kind of like the undersuit, I want black.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just making sure that I got all the undersuit, which I pretty much did.
I noticed that there's a set of holes on the arms. Did you like place those yourself, or did you just use like an ink on those?
What do you mean holes in the arms?
It's probably like gaps in the armor on the wrist.
Like here you have like this little guy over here with all the these things there. I was wondering, do you have to like do anything with that, or do you?
Oh, the holes?
Yeah.
That'll get filled in when I wash it.
Oh, you fill those in?
Well, when I wash it, right, I use a wash or a shade is like a watered down paint
And now
that
just fill it in and
that
make it
goes
absorb.
into the recessed details. Yeah. Right now I'm just blocking out the main colors. Then I'm going to use a wash or a shade that will get into all the recessed detail.
And do you usually purposely place those in those areas? Or you just
No,
put
I just cover the
thing?
whole model.
Really?
Just cover the whole model. You can place them individually. That's way too much pain in the ass. I'm just going to cover the whole thing, and then afterwards, I'm going to dry brush the white back on the raised armor to clean it back up, so there's not like pooling or there's not any black staining from the shade.
Oh, I see.
And this guy's done. Oh wait, no, he's not. I have to do the pauldron. I'm like, what am I doing? I knew I was missing something. It's pauldron. Must
They
be
all have
pumpkin
pauldrons?
orange. They have pauldrons.
I said they all have pauldrons?
Only 3 out of 6. I feel like I'm packing a cigarette.
Gee.
It also doesn't help that I'm actually doing it like I'm packing a cigarette.
Smoke 'em if you go.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Boy. Nice. Nice, okay.
So I was talking with Dan about clone units,
Yeah.
and we said clones are really expensive, right? Because they're the super elites.
Point wise,
Yes.
yeah.
So we were trying to figure out how to make something that's less expensive, and Dan just looked at me, and he's like, "You know what they can do to make less expensive core units in Legion for the Clone Wars era? Make fucking Gungans." Like, no.
God, no.
No. No.
Gungans don't
Dan's
exist.
trying to vaccinate
He's
FFG.
trying to vaccinate Alex Davies. Just get in there. Hey, you know, it'd be a really popular and good idea for cheap Republic units is if you give them Gungans. See, that's like that comic where it's like he says that and then he gets thrown out the fucking window.
I love that thing.
That's meme.
Zero complaints about this way.
Yeah, we should try to go to Adepticon. They give a lot of shit away for free.
Well, we got the offer to work Adepticon on and judge the system open there, but we got it at the end of February after everybody had already put in for their time off or didn't have any.
Wait, we did not remember that.
Yeah, no, I.
Well, Cascade gave us the option to apply for like 6 different places,
Okay.
but like it wasn't like
Right, I
it was
remember
end of February, like you said.
Yeah. Short notice, Steve.
Yeah,
Thank you, but
because I would love to go work Adepticon.
I think I'd rather just walk around. It seems like it's one of those.
Well, I've been wanting to go to Adepticon for years, to be honest with you. Back when I played 40K.
Yeah.
Like, I
I want
remember,
to see you enter like one of those painting competitions and just wipe the floor.
like, Crystal Brush.
Something like that, yeah.
Alright, so if I were to plan on entering Crystal Brush, I would need to start sculpting now.
Sculpting?
Yeah, as the focus.
Yeah.
You mean making the?
Yep.
Yeah.
You make them? I thought you just buy and paint. Or
You can make stuff or change stuff or add stuff using green stuff.
I make
mean-
stuff. I told Hero
green
Forge
stuff.
to make
That's the
something for
weird
me.
play thing,
Yeah, me
right?
too.
What's that?
Yeah, it's that green putty.
I've seen people like try to make like centaurs that way. Is that actually like ethical?
What do you mean?
What do you
ethical?
mean?
Okay, I mean like trying to cut into possibly damaging 2 miniatures in order to make one.
Yeah,
I do it all the time.
But like, they're expensive miniatures, right?
Listen,
Like,
you got the
even-
money. The company's got the product for you. They don't care.
What's up?
Yeah, that
You know?
that ship that you had to keep repainting. How much you spend on that?
The repainted one? Not much. Nothing actually. It's his.
Yeah, you got it.
Are you talking about when I panicked and I panic bought the separatist? Yeah, now I have a separatist army now because I panic bought the Servants of Strife because I'm like I have these 2 fucked up minis. I need something to work on like tomorrow.
Oh, you're doing the prize thing?
Yeah, it's actually already done.
Oh my god, it looks amazing.
He was
He
asking.
goes and paints, messes up. Like
Oh, his is Steve's still working. Mine's already done.
I want to win it. I'm hoping I win it.
Dude, that looks
Actually, because people are
fucking
here, I want to show it off.
fantastic.
Thank you.
I want to show it off.
Oh wait, are you the guys that do all those minis in the back? No, who are the guys
Oh,
that
Those
do
are
it?
those I think the people that sold their.
Yeah, that's
Wait.
just.
Oh, there are people here that sell theirs? That's the ones-
I need an ego boost.
It's on top of my blue bag under my shirt.
Okay, so say I wanted to make a Drider for some reason. Would it be legal for me to just take any sort of spider and just like put a drow on it and then say that's okay?
Well, unless you're talking about an actual spider that you're cutting in half, I mean, there's probably an animal rights group that's be angry about that. But no, it's plastic. Whatever. They're your toys. Do it.
Now, I probably would be wanting to do the hard plastic with that, not the soft plastic, right?
It depends on
'cause-
what parts you can find.
And I'd probably need a very precision tool.
Oh, it's sealed too?
Not a circular saw.
If you break the thing, you have to fill out the form so you can put a new number piece of tape on it.
This is a really expensive hobby.
Because I'm gonna do
Thinking
them
of how,
like
all the
Director Izzard.
technicals and how careful you have to be with everything.
You know,
Here's
he's
a
the
tiny
bestest
itty bitty
lizard.
plastic.
She was a crew member and
Wait,
actually.
what's
Sadie Zard.
Because I'm doing them like stormtroopers.
What is this? What is this? Is Alex walking up with chicken fucking tenders
What
or
the
something?
fuck is this?
Italian sesame seed cookies.
Ooh.
Yes, please.
I'll have it then.
Thank you.
Cookies.
Oh yeah.
My mother, sister, and grandfather made them. So.
I kind of need to get a Centaur Mini, but I don't want one with a bow.
What
And
about one
all the
with-
ones I have combined have a bow on them.
So cut the bow off. Put a sword in the hand.
Yeah, but then they'll just have like,
Metallic flake red.
One for the sword, one for the
Simple,
shield.
but
oh, shit.
Okay, cool. So the draw arm, if you put a cut into the elbow here and
That's fucking
the
bullet.
shoulder here,
I
and
wouldn't
remove
play it, but I'd be happy
a
with it.
little,
I could just move
You
it
can-
like this.
shift it down,
Mhm.
strap a shield to it, and sword in the other.
With my car and got all my stuff, I shoved this thing as important.
Oh, shit. Wow. Okay.
That's being, so this is for pre-regs, that's for the tournament, right?
Yeah.
How many pre-regs did we get? Are we all still pre-registered? So.
Last I asked, we were in the mid-30s.
Okay.
Saw them like, oh Jesus, battle damage. Yeah, that's what this.
So, say you're making a whole army, but you're mixing a little color here.
Yeah, it's
Is
so.
that gonna
I did,
ruin the entire
did
army
actually
because
the
you're
house
never gonna get
underneath
that same color
I
again
used
for the
that
rest of it?
soulstone paint.
If you want to paint everything one
that
color,
metallic
maybe.
flake
I mean, if you really want it to be the same, that just depends on how anal you are about it. I used to
And
mix
then all
flesh
my
tones.
highlighting shading underneath it, and put
Then
that
if I had to
shit on
fix
top.
something, it was a problem, and so then I just bought a flesh tone that I like.
All right.
So I don't have to worry about that. If I fix something, I can just
I've gotten my
dip
ego
and
boost.
paint again. It does look really good, dude.
Truth be told, when I got
That's brand new, dude.
when I got this entire box,
It's awesome.
Yes, it is.
Huh?
Why is that?
It is. I
checked it out.
I tried it at Gen Con.
Oh.
Partially, it could also be partially because I was playing with minis that were this big.
Yeah,
They
the
made-
actual ones are like this big.
I know, but it
And
was
the
so
rest
much
of them
fun.
in the starter are cardboard cutouts.
Oh, the BattleTech stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where your 3D printer becomes amazing, because then you just download the STLs from MWO and print out like MechWarrior 5.
Yeah.
Can I see close in?
Yeah. Oh wow. That was really awesome.
Thank you.
oh wow.
I'm gonna print out 20 urban mags.
20 urban mechs. You realize that's only like 600 tons, right?
How fast did it take for that to dry that you could just immediately?
You're
put
still
that
under.
over it?
The green stuff? Not that one.
I'm gonna keep making more urban mags.
It's still wet in the. Wow.
Well, in here, yeah.
Usually about that.
Well, you
I guess I'm more used to like going over a big canvas instead of like itty bitty canvas.
really think of it like that. You're spreading it out so thin that it's gonna dry quicker. You know, than in a pool.
I got my ego boost for today.
Take the one, take skin.
Yes, because everyone has to have a semi-silver belt buckle, no matter how much camouflage they're wearing.
Yeah, right.
Alright. If I was too afraid to do miniatures and I wanted to get this entire box painted, how much would that cost? Per
He's the one that
He
paints
says,
for a fee.
he says that was 90 per miniature, about.
It's
That's gonna be like highest quality, you know. Why don't you try painting them? The worst thing that you do, you don't get them green. What's it called?
simple green.
Simple green. You strip it. Start over.
Simple green?
Yeah. So
I
it's a
thought
big.
simple green was the gooey stuff.
You might be thinking of Goo Gone, but Simple Green's like a household cleaner,
Oh.
and it does a pretty good job at breaking down acrylic paint and leaving the plastic alone.
And oh, okay.
Let's go.
Even if it's dry?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Usually all you need to do is scrub it a little bit with a toothbrush after you leave it in there for a few hours,
Oh.
and it'll come right off.
Okay, I guess I should try that. Alright, I guess I'll try that when I do that. I have a new hobby that I'll try to invest in.
And like I said, we work primarily in acrylics,
Well, yeah.
which any acrylics from like Joann's or Michael's will do to get you started. Unless you already have acrylics at home, then
the legs. So
They're old, but
they're gonna be wearing like the gauze is gonna go over them like a tunic. So the
Just need
legs will be
water.
exposed though.
Whatever kind of camo pattern you want to do. You don't even have to do a camo pattern. You can just keep it OD.
Yep. Oh, let me get you Alan.
You're white.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I'm stoked you're doing it. So I can see what it looks like.
So you don't have to do it.
Oi.
Wow. Holy shit.
Oh, you missed out. You missed me showing off my my fancy.
Is the astromech getting like
shit.
little dits on it?
Probably.
Oh wow, that looks
Word.
so different from
I
the first
have no
one.
idea what they look like, but you know, I figured one
Yeah,
off
so-
the AD, so that was a good point.
Baby.
This is the fighter it's becoming.
Oh wow, you're making a reference image and everything?
Excuse me?
I can do what I like, bro.
I do not know.
I mean, with the amount of... I see
Wait,
that.
did you just bring your entire computer from home
With the
over here?
helmet?
Yeah.
No.
No,
These are the
that's
ones you
rough.
gave me.
This is the one I
Is it?
specifically
Yeah.
use for streaming.
But you brought it all the way here. From...
No, it stays over in the corner.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I'm gonna blend in like.
Because I do most of my work here.
Oh.
So this is what the model started as.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I was looking at the
Here's the
minis and I'm
thing
like,
up.
there's way
That
too
was
much
in order.
detail for me to just do these fucking things black.
I don't know, man. The black ones look good
Yeah.
too.
Well,
They do, but
They-
like,
I don't
know where they
I'm
are.
gonna get more miles.
I think they look great. To be honest, like I think it looks.
But they're
for
gonna,
me, it's
they look like
interesting enough.
stormtroopers though.
They're gonna stick out way more than the Stormtroopers.
I started doing
Oh, I'm
this.
sure
and I
you're doing
realized
it.
it's all gonna
There
depend
is
on
a lot of detail.
how we
No,
details
dude,
it out.
this is just me
I was gonna
blocking
dot
out
over the
colors.
top.
Yeah,
that's a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
I think.
That's not stupid.
That'll be
They
good.
do that with nail polish, they
He's
do
so
that
mean.
with paint.
He's so mean to me. No, that's out of control. Listen, buddy.
No, you do that, then the paint's gonna get stuck to the bottom. Then it'll dry and you'll never get it out.
Just take it upside down. See what happens with the Prusa printer. You find 100 of these upside down open.
That's the one
What do you
you
mean?
spread.
I'll just take my whole stuff, open all the caps, and stick them upside down in your printer.
Why are you in my house?
Bless
I'll
you.
just call your wife and say he forgot something at the store. I had to bring it over. He's on his 20-hour tour, right? All right, perfect.
I'm gonna tell my wife under no circumstances are you allowed to let this man into the house.
Yeah, like wasn't he being an asshole to you this week? Yep, you can come in. All right. I bought cigarettes.
I hate you so much. It better be Juul pods now though, because she doesn't smoke anymore.
Oh no.
Oh, there you go.
Isn't that worse?
I got your jewel right here for you.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
since I switched off of cigarettes, now when I hike it up to the 6th or 7th floor in these walk-ups, I'm not like gasping for air anymore. So I don't know.
Oh, actually, speaking
I
of
thought it was vapor and not smoke anymore.
vaping and stuff
is.
like that,
So the only thing is that you're getting now is the nicotine
What?
still.
Yeah, but there
Another
could be
company.
other.
I don't know
there could
what
be
Gus
problems
does,
inhaling
but-
the.
I do weed vaping.
are you
Being
cool
this-
with vaping
Yeah, thing,
outside
yeah.
of the room? Would that be okay?
Well,
Isn't that
it's
the-
probably a
Sure.
lot
I
easier
just
for
don't-
all
yeah.
the chemicals to get into.
Dude, if it's a
especially
non-smoking room,
water.
I'm not gonna vape in it.
I don't know. It probably
There's
Probably
is.
not.
2,000
No, yeah, no.
chemicals in a cigarette, so I don't know how
Yeah,
many
they
are
were
in
sick.
the.
I like
I'm
the
not worried about
mask.
the
Oh my
amount, I'm worried
lord.
about what
He's
type
the-
they are
That's
and,
He's the unit
you know,
leader.
that's
and what
Ooh.
concentration.
I put what's
We'll
your
know
face on
in
him.
10 years. We'll
So,
know what
yeah,
sort of
he's the
problems
unit
you
leader.
have
This is true.
in 10
Dude,
years.
that's great.
Too bad you have no love for DC, or else you could paint the Joker smile on it.
Alright, so
Wait, I mean you could paint the.
It's
So,
totally
when I first
Leatherface,
did this
not
guy,
Joker.
I went
It's
up
totally
to Dave,
Leatherface,
and
not
I'm
Joker.
like, this dude comes up and slaps a droid
The
on
new
the
trailer looks really good though.
Because they look kind of like they look kind of like
and
they remind me of like
lots
sand
itty,
troopers.
teeny little brushes.
Yeah,
Little
Because they got the
polka
paws.
dot
Yeah.
How on earth am I
So that's why
gonna
I'm
get
like
the king
really.
of,
I like that
really
you did
digging it.
orange. To be honest, like
Well, these are.
Don't
gonna
you
be
look at me
orange,
like
these are
that.
I
gonna be
like
red.
on the back
Okay.
they have
I'm
Like,
doing,
seriously, how many get under that
Scott's getting a
bulldog?
red Bulger.
Saga
How many
Falls.
get
Scott's
under
getting a
that?
black one.
Oh, you didn't bring the
Red
Game of
Scott's
Thrones stuff, did
getting
you?
Nah, it's too much stuff.
Is there such a
I
thing as a
haven't opened it yet.
right-angled brush?
I want to look
I'm
at
surprised I don't have it here.
What, Game of Thrones?
Yeah, the Come On Game of Thrones.
I don't want to open this.
I may not have a relationship with that distributor.
It's Asmodee.
Open it up.
Asmodee took over their.
I'm looking at
Oh, the
you.
Game of Thrones game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see updates for that.
I'll take a look into it because like with Game of Thrones now hitting
gonna
the
be
last
popular,
season,
yeah.
it's gonna be big.
The starter set's a little pricey, but you get a ton of models. The cool thing about it is you get the
Today's a
models are
perfect day
already
to
built.
prime.
I bought
So
Perfect Day.
the issue we might be running into is that
Oh yeah, you
Gil
can't
hasn't
prime
heard
in
enough
winter,
interest
right?
in the
Because of
store
the,
about it.
cold and the wet.
Because we tend to bring things in when people are like, "Hey, can you get
I
this?"
don't remember what
If
you
I
were
was
going
you
to
guys,
say.
I would get the starter
Just see how.
and then set it up as a
I bought
demo.
Basilisk.
I'll do the
Oh,
demo
yeah.
for you guys.
Tell
It's
me about that.
So
we
I'm
have a Game of
gonna,
Thrones day.
Pick up an 80.
I'll talk to Gil, see what he says.
How about this? Why don't I just bring my starter and we can use my starter to demo it?
Okay.
So it costs you nothing, and then we could all check it out.
Can you beat a small dude?
I'm sorry, what?
Small
Tyrion?
dude? Yeah, that guy.
Can you beat a small dude?
You don't have Lannister in your set, right?
Yes.
It's
It's
Stark
Stark
and
and
Lannister.
Lannister for the
Oh,
starter set.
then maybe.
Oh wait, what are these?
Oh, can you beat Tyrion?
Yeah,
Yes,
I don't
he's a
Game of
playable
Thrones.
character.
That's why I'm like, it's a small dude.
Oh, that's what I'm like, who the fuck are you even trying
All
to
the
Yeah,
small
you can-
dudes are small dudes.
So there's
Oh, they're
there's
cute
playable
little character
characters and then
cards.
there's non-playable characters.
Okay.
So there's characters that
Okay.
give battle effects on the table, and then there's characters that you play on a separate side piece that affect the battle.
That's probably him.
So
Yeah,
like
he is.
Tyrion would be like
in love with this trooper. This is
like
my
a
favorite.
command
Jesus
buff
Christ,
for.
this is my favorite trooper.
So there's
I got
this
all the
card
guns.
that sits on the side of the battlefield and it has places for your NPCs. And then what you do is you can activate them like a regular unit and place them on that card. And then those additional abilities that you activate will like allow you to draw like more command cards or try to make an enemy unit panic. And they're pretty powerful abilities, but once you place it there, it has to stay there. But then that ability is burnt for the rest of the game. Like you can't have other people come in and work on it, like do the same effect. The game is pretty cool, and it's pretty straightforward too, which is nice.
I've come to appreciate straightforward in my wargaming
Yeah.
as of late. Like, no, does it work or does it not? Can we just
You have
do
to
that?
consult a million fucking charts and be like, all right, so you've got like a 5 strength, you got 4 toughness, an armor over 3. Let's consult the chart.
And the other thing
It
that's
should
nice,
hit
like,
on
the-
4s.
Because of the chart,
on
you
the
died.
unit card,
How? I was the one swinging the sword.
it's like on the unit card, it tells you what they hit on,
Yeah.
and then that's it. You don't have to compare it to another unit, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who's going against who. This is what they hit on. And like you don't even have to worry about rank and file stuff because on the card it says.
That's why I like running Conan the Betrayer. He always hits. But he hits the enemy on 2s.
And you.
No, he hits me on 1s. He hits my own dudes on 1.
But he always hits.
He always hits. Karn never has a problem.
When I
He's such a
offered
good
that
guy.
mirror for
Never has a
everybody,
problem
it's
hitting
not
anything.
select group.
Oh, I thought he was always for the
No,
guild.
no.
For the Horde.
For the horde. So have you been following the Army Painter way, or how do you do on these
I
guys?
haven't even read that thing. I paint him however I feel like painting him.
And what's your general approach? So do you do like base color and then shade, or you just use shade, or?
Base paint all over the different colors, and then I shade everything. And if I have to fix anything, I fix anything afterwards.
Actually, they are,
Nice.
yes.
Yep.
They are a higher resident.
And then dry brush. If I want to dry brush them. Dry bush?
Try to paint them
Gray
all.
bush?
Right?
That sounds like a
Shoot myself in the face.
personal problem right there.
It is.
Wait, Matt like dyes his bush?
Dye bush?
Dye bush?
What happened at Adepticon?
I didn't hear.
He found the gray hair. His pubes.
Hey Matt, do you
I
want some
can't
milk?
promote this image anymore of this business pyramid scheme.
The first time we went, hey Matt, you want a PB&J sandwich? Yeah. You want some
That was
milk?
like 3 years
Yeah.
ago, no.
Was he drunk?
Yeah, wasted. Then give him the glass of milk and he takes a big sip and he goes, is this milk? Like, yeah, he's like, I don't fucking want that.
I don't drink milk.
And then that's when he went to the bathroom and
Shit everywhere.
shellacked the walls from the kneeling height down with vomit. 360.
You're lactose intolerant?
No, it's just I drank like a lot of alcohol that day.
It was a fair amount of alcohol. I'll give him that.
I mean, you mix that much alcohol with milk, nothing good is going to happen.
I mean, after a hard night of drinking, I do like to have a glass of milk, preferably chocolate milk, because it settles my stomach out.
That's fair.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. I also find that making a nice flank steak and sleeping with wet socks on also helps prevent the hangover.
All right, sure, man. Sure.
And the order in which he eats and sleeps with things would actually surprise you. Sleep with the flank steak, eat the wet socks.
Okay. How
Yeah,
on
so
earth?
I got a little tipsy this time, and I was trying to reheat fried rice from earlier that night in a fucking
You're wasted.
in a pan.
Blasting fuel at 4 o'clock in the morning. I woke up, I'm like, is that fuel? I was pretty drunk too, but you know, like when you're drunk sleeping and then you kind of like wake up in a daze and you're like,
He's like, is that fuel? Yeah, man, it's fuel, bro.
Oh my lord.
So I really burned the fried rice, and I couldn't eat it because it was all stuck to the pan.
Oh,
That was heating it
you're
up.
burning the shit out of this rice. And I wake up and I'm like, what do you do? He's like, what does it look like? I'm cooking. And I'm like, why are you bothered?
You're like,
There's
why'd
a
you
microwave right next to him.
He's like, why'd you just put it in the microwave? And I was like, oh. That's right, there's a microwave.
My lord.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Okay, is there a right-angled brush? How do
What
you
do you
get
mean?
under? How do you get under there?
Patience.
Yeah, you gotta use a really small brush.
Like, no, even if you did, like, the base gets in the way.
Oh, you mean
Sometimes
underneath?
then you just don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
you don't have to worry
You
about
just
it.
don't look.
No,
You,
you
don't,
don't look.
you just paint it and you don't look.
Because your dude, right? That thing,
If
your
anyone's
dog,
gonna
whatever,
right
has to look
right
good from
angle
there.
flush would be the Israelis
It has to look good from here.
with their
What,
right
does
It
angle
doesn't have to
flush.
look good from
Yeah.
here.
It's one of the craziest
So like
things I've ever seen.
I'm not worried like
Yeah,
when
I
I'm
was like,
painting,
why is there
like this dude, he's loaded to the ground. I'm not worried about getting like black
on
paint
like
in his taint.
a buttstock, and then they went
You know?
like this around the corner.
I'm not
and it
worried
goes,
about that.
"Ooh," and I was like, what? And they're like, yes, and you can see because there's a little camera.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
Supposed to let green stuff dry for a day.
James
right?
Bond. About yeah.
What?
It depends. You can let green stuff can set for like 2 hours and then it's workable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad enough. I mean, like, if I was more,
Where'd you green stuff? Let me see.
just because like the
There's
a
Corky.
little bit of work.
The only thing I
could
wouldn't
shove
do with
something in the
the
back.
only thing I wouldn't do with green stuff
Oh, yeah.
is paint
So-
on it until after 24 hours.
Yeah, well, no, fuck
I
it.
mean,
don't
I've
care.
done it too in the
for
past,
this
but
guy-
usually about
This
6.
guy, I would definitely
Yeah, well,
just put a little
it
green
also
stuff
depends if
in
it's
there.
like a load bearing piece.
Or instead of green
Then
stuff,
you
if
wanna
you have
let it
modeling
really
putty,
set.
I don't care that much.
I don't even use super glue.
It's gonna
anymore
look
to glue stuff
egregious,
together. I use
that's why.
epoxy now.
Here, I'm gonna make it look good.
It takes
Okay.
a little more time, but you
Do
can
what
take
you
your
gotta
model
do,
and
man.
huck it against the wall, and you're gonna dent
You're
the
not
wall
wrong,
before the
but-
model breaks.
like if it was a smaller gap, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it. But that's kind of egregious.
God damn it.
Corky's bigger than Chihuahuas?
But
It could be worse. He could not have an arm.
And like, there's a massive there's actually a massive.
I'm putting gauze over the top anyway, so the pants are gonna be
Yeah, I would hold off on that
visible.
guy, dude.
Gauze? What do you mean?
I'm putting gauze on them so
So
that.
you're gonna give him a ghillie suit?
But I bought.
You can always come
shorts
back
from,
to it, man.
Michael. So I'm gonna stick
I'm
the
not telling
shorts
you
on
what
the
to do.
suit.
You know what I think you should do? I think you should wrap the rifle in the gauze. That'd be pretty dope.
That'd be cool. So we're just kind of putting like a base coat because I'm hoping to see through some, enough that you can see like some of the undercoat, but nothing of detail.
This is the one I want to pick first.
I just when the Corgis were bigger than Chihuahuas.
I'll try one of those sesame
Corgis are bigger than Chihuahua.
Then they made a mistake in
Oh,
that.
thank you.
Yeah, they done fucked up.
They done fucked up. This is not Chihuahua. This is not Corgi anymore. This is a Dachshund.
Good.
I'll say a corgi.
Out of like all Italian pastries, these are like top 5 for me.
Pretty good.
No, the corgis are a little
Top 5?
bigger.
Yeah.
Hello.
Sesame seed cookies are really good. I have
You
to
know,
put
it's
rainbow
like, it's
cookies
the
on
same
top of them
scope,
though.
that's why. No, the
That's why I
corgis
said
are a
top
little
5
bigger.
and not 100% number 1.
That's fair.
What's your
A little
number one?
bigger. Not too much bigger.
Tiramisu.
Tiramisu is
Well, it
good.
doesn't matter, I guess. My I guess was more the look
Followed by rainbow.
and the size class. I guess they were going for size class with that when they printed them out and then.
See, it's rainbow cookies from the old day.
Are you kidding me? I've definitely wasted life on Rainbow Troopers.
Yeah,
Wasted
move over.
Mud Troopers that I'm using to replace a third set of Snow Troopers.
Oh, Alex, here's the thing. Since you're doing 1,000,000 dudes on that tray, you might not get even coverage for your prime.
They're grunge troopers. They could. Wow, that's a lot of
Yeah,
guys.
that's a lot of guys.
That's a lot of dudes on a tray.
You might,
I don't
dude.
think you're gonna go. Okay.
Alex, you're just gonna get mad. Stop.
I'm gonna get mad that it don't do it too.
No,
wait.
just
No.
two
Third of them at a
separate
time.
trays.
Two separate trays
dude.
work.
Do a third of them at a time.
Just do like.
Would you? There's more trays, dude.
I'm gonna be the voice.
split
I'm
up.
gonna be the voice of reason in this. Learn through experience, Alex, and just get
Yeah,
the greatest
yeah,
one.
No, then he's gonna start throwing them at people, and I just don't want to deal with
I
that.
got Wookiee face. I got Wookiee face. No, he's gonna throw it. He's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that.
Put this
Oh,
back here.
No,
Hold it.
no, because if I throw something, I absolutely mean it. That's how I broke my last phone.
oh.
Can you throw it all away?
I don't own it.
Do you
That's
want
the thing. If I break
Alex?
something,
Do you
I
want
have to
tape
own it.
so you can tape the bottom so they don't move around?
That's probably good.
That's even worse. None of them are glued or taped.
I don't
No,
need
they're-
sense.
they're-
So he's gonna blow like 85 guys into the fucking
Blow
earth.
them away. Are you sure you don't want tape?
This is the worst. This is the worst possible scenario. I blew 60 units into the dirt with primer, so now there's dirt on
You guys
them.
just bully each other.
No. No. If I wanted to bully, I could bully. I'm not gonna bully.
If he wanted to bench press someone, he could bench press someone too. Fun facts.
Are you sad that your table's too light now?
What?
Are you sad your table's too light now?
Holy, what's this?
Medical droid.
Medical droid?
They do medical
I
things.
don't remember seeing
The
that.
type of medicine that thing does is not medicine.
He was in the movie.
It's where my
but in
career
the
is
original
heading
part,
to.
He was actually bigger in the original.
Just jacking people with needles.
God, I hope so. That would make my job so much more fun.
What?
They're not.
You don't
he's actually
speak to
not-
people on needles?
He doesn't get any combat points, but he runs around and
Depends.
goes like, "Oh God."
Depends on their affect.
Oh,
and how
come
they're-
on, estás? I don't speak Spanish. What's wrong with you? Blah, 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 blah. Needle? And they're like, no, my arm hurts. I'm like, oh, you know English. Very good, very good. My mom does that.
When we get the,
She's kind of a racist. So.
it's an untoward side effect. And we're not racist in the medical field, we're realists.
No, my mom's a racist. Full blown.
Is she?
Like, not like I want to kill all the like black people in the world, but those people that walk through from Wyandanch through my neighborhood, she's suspicious of. So. And she also thinks that everyone should know English, which I mean, from her perspective in the medical field, makes a lot of sense. But yeah,
I don't think that you should be forced to know it, but the thing that frustrates me is like you've been here for 30 years, right?
And you don't speak
And you
language of it?
don't understand it at all. How is that possible?
Yeah, because when you go to a country, just in general,
because
you
they
end
live
up learning a
in
modicum
they
of
live in
language.
very segregated like little snippets where everyone
and
speaks
fine,
Spanish.
And that's totally your prerogative to do, but it's a little disrespectful when then you get mad at me for not speaking Spanish.
I agree.
Oh no, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that. Like, don't get mad at me if I don't
Yeah,
understand you.
exactly. It's not my responsibility to learn your
Yeah, but
dialect.
you know the
of
reverse
language.
goes too. You know they don't need to necessarily learn American.
Well, that's
They
what
don't.
what we were
So
saying,
when
like,
they call the ambulance and
you know-
they're bleeding out and they can't explain to you what's wrong, don't get mad at me when you die.
Yeah,
Like,
But that's a little bit. What you're saying is a very extreme case. Don't get mad
No,
at
I
me if
see it
you
all.
die.
No,
what's wrong? I have a
I was
fever.
saying the dying though. That was
Yeah,
that
I
was
have a fever. I can't understand you, so I'm not going to be able to provide
Yeah,
you the
and
care
then
you
they
need.
get pissed off.
What
They call
about-
911 back to have another ambulance come because I
Well,
don't speak Spanish.
that's terrible.
Yeah, they do
But,
that all the time, man.
What about like
I
just
did
like a
order.
cryptograph?
I did order Spanish paramedics. So
Or even like
I use Google Translate sometimes,
No, that's
and we do have quick cards and stuff that we carry too.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, it's not about communicating with them. It's their affect totally changes when I don't speak Spanish, and
Well, yeah, because they think you're against them.
and well, the other thing too is I can understand Spanish, so you can speak to me in Spanish and know what you're saying, but I can't speak it back to you.
That's fair and very much the same way with
So then they call that fucking ginger devil guinea is fucking trying to kill me, and you're like,
And then they call 911 back, and then they're on the phone with 911 screaming at the dispatcher, and then they call me on the radio, and they're like, 13 Young, what's the problem? And I'm like, well, they're upset that I don't speak Española. So, and they're like, yeah, deal with it. Yeah, I'm aware. Thank you.
Goodbye.
We should.
It's like, why did we have to have this conversation?
We should have a national language to unite things like this. Like that's the problem with
There is
trying
a
to.
there is a
There is.
it's the global lingua franca for a reason, dude.
America doesn't
That
have.
was hilarious. That was like a liberal thing to say. We don't have a national.
America doesn't have a defined national language.
No, we don't.
They don't.
No, we don't have an official language.
Once revolution's over.
No.
We don't have an. We do
No,
not
because
have
if it
an
was
official
English,
language.
there wouldn't be Spanish.
That being said,
English shines in Texas. all
what,
over
the
place.
language that everyone
Like-
uses is English.
Yes.
Because the colonists were English.
Yes.
We don't have a national language.
Not all the colonists were English, I think.
And
Some
because
of them were German.
And because we don't have
The 13 colonies that
We
matter.
don't have one national
Yes.
language. Everyone caters to everybody.
What?
I said because we don't have one distinguished language that the country chose as their language, we cater to everyone now, which causes a lot of problems.
But it also
like with
will
Alex's
cause
stuff.
problems.
Well, I mean-
when they be like, all right, you know what, English is our national language, and then everybody's.
And then everyone will fucking
But when
learn
you
through,
go-
through a
here's the
generation.
thing,
Everyone will
right?
know English. So, like, if we had done this in the
Alright,
beginning,
so look at
But
a
it's
country
all
like
of our
Ireland,
schools
right?
aren't whatever.
Yeah.
In Ireland, they have to
I don't know what's going on
learn
anymore.
Gaelic in primary school. It's part of your education.
We're in Ireland.
Yeah.
Ireland.
So you can understand how to speak Gaelic, but there's only a few barrier islands left that actually use it.
Wait, Gaelic?
Yeah.
I can read Canterbury Tales for real now?
But so the whole point is that the national language of Ireland is Gaelic, and it's taught in the school, but they don't even use it.
well, that's stupid because they're Irish.
I mean, the other thing too is like
It's coming from the same people that brought you the Irish potato famine. I mean,
Jesus.
They brought you the famine. It didn't just happen to them. They brought it.
What do you? Wait a minute. What do you mean? Are you talking about the English?
Yeah, that was.
Who brought you the potato famine? Because that's really how that happened.
And I was still.
But like having a national language should be the language that unifies the country, so that we operate under the same,
I know.
the language.
very
Instead of
much-
saying,
I don't care.
"Oh, you didn't put up a
Okay,
Polish
let's
sign
look at
in the
fine
Polish
if I can
neighborhood."
make it.
Well,
I don't
fuck.
care
Now
about
we
it.
can't. I can't
'Cause
go
if
there.
I
Like,
care
I
about
went
the
to
details and the little stuff, I'll
a
hate
small like Dominican place, and they were and the girl that sent me there to pick up this stuff was like, they don't speak English, or like, I'm gonna write down this stuff. I'm like, how do you run a business? And it's not in a Spanish neighborhood. It's in the middle of fucking, Front Street on Hempstead. So there are people that don't speak Spanish there. Turns out there was someone that spoke
Well,
English.
if it's a Brazilian joint or a Portuguese.
It wasn't. It was like a Dominican place.
Oh,
or
I
something.
thought you said like Portuguese or something.
No.
Like, they don't even speak Spanish. Where are you going with
But
this?
when I work in Washington Heights, it's the little DR up there.
Yeah.
And like, unless we're gonna do what like the Orthodox neighborhoods do and have your own ambulance corps, then like, okay, like.
The thing that really drives me nuts is like when people call, and then we bring in, there's like they have minor medical problems, right? You could have seen your PMD or an urgent care center, or took some fucking Tylenol, okay? And we bring them to the hospital and we sit them down outside in the waiting room. They're like, this isn't why I called the ambulance, and it's like, yeah, it's called triage. It's beyond English. It's French. It means that if you're not really sick, you gotta wait. And then they just look at you and they're like, fuck.
Dude, I love my friend Dan's dad is a ER doctor, and they instituted a policy where you have to see the patient within 10 minutes. And he said that directly counteracts the whole triage procedure, because you triage them and then you take the people that you need to see immediately. So what they did is they stuck a PA on a desk.
Yeah.
And they said, let me get your information. It's like, okay, you've been seen. Sticker. Like, go wait and triage now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
My unit leaders are always.
That's just to make sure that nobody who's like seriously ill falls through the cracks. Because we've been like packing up the ambulance before, and like the taxi comes up and opens up the door, and the body falls on the floor. And we're like, oh, we should probably go help them because he looks dead. He looks freshly dead. Not really dead, just freshly dead.
Wait, a taxi just showed up and there's a body in what?
Dude, I've done the resurrection.
It's
spell.
like Law and Order when
Crazy.
they drive up with the car and they shove someone out of the car and speed away.
No, not even. It's just the taxi driver's just like, yo, this guy threw up in the back seat of my taxi. What are you gonna do about it? And we're like, well, we're gonna do CPR, and you're gonna get some sandy wipes from inside and clean your car, aren't
Frank,
you?
if you want to cook, you have it.
File the claim with Uber to get paid. I don't know what to tell you.
You get 2 sets of stormtroopers, you get 2 sets of rebel
Does it say made on my fucking badge?
Dude, one time we were sitting in front of Beth Israel, and this taxi comes careening around the corner the wrong way down the one-way street. And we're like, this is gonna be priceless. We get there, he does this Hollywood style like skid up to the front of the ER bay. This guy gets out and goes, my wife is having a baby. I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go get a stretcher. He's like, no, now. And I was like, oh god. So I go into the back and she's definitely having this kid, like it's coming right now.
Oh shit.
So I screamed to my partner, I'm like, get the OB kid. And then all I hear is my partner go, shit. We delivered this kid in the backseat of this fucking taxi, and you just see the taxi driver just standing there, and he's just like, he's just watching his whole living disintegrate.
I personally just like.
So we bring the baby in and everything else, we come out, and the taxi driver's just standing there, and he's like, so like, are they gonna pay me? And I was like, that's a good question. Let me go get Dad. I go up to Dad. I'm like, yeah. So the taxi driver's outside, and he's wondering if he can collect his fare. And just to let you know, like, your baby totally destroyed the back of his car. Like, it is not good. And Dad was like, I'm so sorry. He reaches into his wallet, gives me like $600. He's like, here, go give this to the guy. I give the money to the taxi guy, and he's like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to cover it, but it's better than nothing.
But like over there, Fish, his army is like pretty standard colors, white stormtroopers, Black Vader, and all that. And I really love how his stuff looks. So that's why like I love making them look weird, but at the same time I kind of like their original look too. So.
Can you paint better?
What?
Can people actually like almost like manufacturer style, like like one?
Do you order down your paint?
I mean, if they're able to pull off.
Why?
Well, I mean, like everything. There's a Prime Day, there's a color base coat day, and then there's a.
Put water on your brush.
I'm sure they can. It's just,
Pretty
that's a lot
sure.
of work. So it's probably going to be like cost and everything.
I mean,
By the way, I'm totally down for Adepticon next year.
Nice. Yeah, it's awesome, dude. Me and Matt were talking about that. If we had one more or two more people to split the room with, it'd be awesome.
If I want a low quality, I'll do it myself, or I'll leave them gray because I don't care.
Well, we'll also see if it's going to end up being like a bunch of us, because like.
That's why I was like, hey, you guys.
I wouldn't mind doing it as like a freaking road trip instead of flying to. Like,
Oh. The only thing with the road trip is it takes like 16 hours to get there.
I know they're changing it.
And it's just brutal because the flight's an hour and 40 minutes.
Well, no, I know that, but it would be about leaving a day early and seeing shit on our way there.
All right, you can have fun with the road trip. I'm not gonna do the road trip, but I'll see you guys there.
I mean, it depends on what everybody says, right? Because like, what's a ticket? Like $200, $300?
For the airfare?
Yeah.
It depends on where you get them and what airline you take, and if you're willing to do connections. It can be anywhere from 160 to $200.
Oh, with the.
That's not bad.
I'd
For
say,
a round trip?
Yeah, I'd say 160 is probably your.
The average.
No, that's 160 is probably gonna be your low end, but you can definitely get it. Me and Matt spent $240, but we got upgraded seats.
Nice.
What don't you like about the paint? Besides the fact that it's not like even, but I kind of like that for camouflage. So.
No, it does work. I'm just fucking with it. Yeah.
You know, every time you do that, a little bit of me dies.
Very, very enjoyable game.
Well, that's good.
Very
That's good. You cut it.
I like to giveth and taketh away.
You're not God, Alex. Even though you probably feel like that when you're working
no,
with
I
all those
don't.
Spanish people. I could let you die, you motherfucker.
No, not even that. See, the whole thing about our job is we're just there to bear witness. Like, if somebody's been shot, like, the bullet has already decided if you're going to live or die. There's really not too much that I can do to alter that.
Yeah, digging it out is you're just gonna get the piece of metal out of the body.
Oh, not even that. That's not even my job. That's a surgeon's job.
Your job is to patch the hole so that the surgeon can take the bullet out and not let them be dead at that point.
See, even with gunshot wounds, though, I mean, unless it's in the chest, we really don't even do much.
No, what are you gonna do? Yeah. Just you could tourniquet like a leg or an arm. That's about it.
Unless they're hit with like a high velocity round and they have a cavitation that we have to pack, then or a tourniquet. That's pretty much it.
Huh, what are we gonna do? They'll keep.
Where we really intervene is controlling somebody's airway. So the intubation and protecting the airway so they don't aspirate and drown.
I can
Four of you
intubate.
couldn't do that?
I used
How
to
much
be able to.
There were 4 of you, yeah?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I knew how to do it.
Oh,
It was fun.
it's not difficult.
Apparently,
it takes practice.
it is.
They do a challenge.
It is if you don't keep your skills sharp. So if you learn how to do it and you don't do it for a long time, it's tough. And some patients are tough too.
Diabetes.
Because of the way it's positioned. So.
Oh.
But they have a 2-pound
You gotta, you just gotta be, when you're sticking that tube down somebody's throat, I
can
think
do that.
people who have trouble doing it are
my
a
buddy
little
worked
gun shy.
at the deli when
If you're doing this to a patient, they're already in a
deli
bad way,
finished,
so
was-
I don't
was
worry
Warbums.
about
My buddy was
hurting
working
stuff.
at
I
the
just
deli.
go in there and I really
I said
force
to him, I was
it.
like, give me a pound
I
of
put a bunch
turkey,
of pressure.
pound of ham, pound of roast beef, and a pound of cheese.
When I was in
And
medical
put it
school, I
all
had
in
the
a roll.
most
And that was the worst day of my
innovations
life.
anybody in LaGuardia ever. I had like 40-something innovations in med school.
How long did I take the cleanser system?
Cleanse? I don't know. I don't remember much after that day for a little bit.
You get the meat sweats?
I got worse
They
than
just
the
went
meat
purple.
sweats.
He got the meat
Oh God,
coma.
what have you done to yourself? Sweats.
Yeah.
Which is
Don't
what I
really
did last
know.
night when I got hyper drunk.
No.
Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna grab something.
You got hyper drunk without me. Oh wait, no, you had that concert, right?
Oh my God, yo, it was a good one. This black kid comes up to me at the end. He's like, yo, I just came in here for a beer, but you killed it. This was fun. I don't even like metal.
That's awesome.
I was like, that's right.
That's actually awesome.
Then you just screamed in his face, right?
I was throwing children. I was picking them up, screaming at them, and then I tossed them.
Who are you talking?
Children.
Not children, but like
Teenagers?
Dwarfs?
He was throwing younglings.
You toss children?
Piss me off enough, why not?
Don't eat the
I
children.
didn't say eat, I said toss.
That's true.
No, yeet.
We're not. Ah.
No, they deserve to eat.
Yeet.
He can't say yeet.
In his like death growl.
No, you just pick up a child and go, this bitch empty.
All the younglings were empty. I threw them out.
And then they hit the wall and then they're empty because there's no more blood.
Oh my lord. I
Free
love
red
it.
paint.
Break my heart.
It's like, why would you want to buy blood for the blood god when you could just bottle some right here?
But why do you have one shade of purple?
No, there's more than one now.
Yeah?
I think they're darker though. Like that's purple.
This is red.
That's purple.
Crusted sore is red, sir. Oh,
What?
that is.
Isn't it a shade of purple?
No, it's a red.
Separating everything is bothering me.
So when you do the skin,
I
start with an
started
undershade of
making
this.
everything nice on this one and realized too late that I didn't do it on this one.
Yeah, it's a red. It's a maroon. Start with an undershade of this. And then after that, do a very thin watery coat of this over it.
Are you sure it is thin as it is?
No, but like you want to make it into like a wash.
Almost a wash, yeah. You want to take the blue and tone it with a purple tinge, and then highlight it with
I might
this.
be going just
Like highlight, like you mean
Like edge highlight, yeah.
Just not so much edge highlight, just wash over and leave the recesses more than
Like
the
at
other.
the raised points.
And then there's also a part on his hands, like that the hard armor plate thing. You're gonna want to do that in a
I have a lot
tan.
to do with this game, and
Yeah, I played Dungeons and Dragons. I know a lot of
yeah, Dice Roll's fucking sucking that game.
Here we go.
Luckily, my Monday game is.
So then for that little thing on his arm, we're gonna do this first, and then highlight it with
The only
this.
time I'm rolling well is when it's me versus him, and I just it's so great because
Let me
he's
see.
getting so upset.
Where you do that?
Is the universe telling you something?
The universe is telling me that.
Yeah,
my
you
character-
see how he has these like two plates here? That inside plate with the,
Actually, if I wanted to
you
start
see what I'm talking about? These like two plates on his hands? Yeah, that you want to do the inside one with this.
Get random people, yes, but if not, if you have people you want to play already and whatnot,
I have a friend who wants to start a rabbit.
that's my Monday one.
What makes it go on smooth, though?
He's interested in that, but he's also
We need
interested
to
in
make
making
this
it
one
all
go on
like
smooth.
clerics and paladins.
Clerics have a lot to them.
There's almost.
Alright, good enough for me.
Yeah, but it's
Nade guy is done. Move on to the next.
it's an interesting idea, but I'm worried that it would be too constricting.
That's one squad base coded. Next.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play it.
Grab
As long
L1.
as multi-classing is allowed, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, of course.
Because right now my Necromancer and the other different campaign.
Are you go Barakov?
No, I'm Gruul. I'm a Gruul barbarian in that campaign. Different trend.
Oh, nice. I really wanted to try Necromancer.
I love Necromancer.
But I wanted to be like chaotic.
Speaking of, Dave, I was reading the Curse of Strahd book, as there's a character background in there, and I'm like, but I like my backstory. I don't want to change it. Because it looked good. He has 3 books that he's authoring, so that's where he's putting all of his like research in the books and whatnot. But the actual spells themselves are on his belt.
It's more like
That's using.
There's spell inscriptions here, so he never loses his research, but he also has his.
Right. So it's always like him learning, like every time he uses a spell, he learns a little bit about it. Like Ray of Enfeeblement is on his ribs, so he has to take the knife, cut his ribs open, cut the rib, and then use the rib to shoot the spell. And every time he does that, he learns like different effects. It's like, okay, how does this affect me? Like using this, how was this bone in particular better than any other bone in my body? What is it about this rib that is better than, say, you know, like something on my thumb to shoot the Ray of Enfeeblement and stuff like that? So he
Like, man, I fucked up. Instead of a rib, I could have just used like a finger joint, and I would have been good.
Let's see, but that's like so he has
Why the fuck did I put a cantrip over here? What the?
Well, he has Tensor's floating disc.
Yeah.
So, but he has it on his right heel. So, like, he smacks his heel on the floor, and then the floating disc pops up. Now, for whatever reason, maybe he could have put it on his knuckle. By the way, your work is amazing. That's fine. So, like, if you put it on his knuckles, he would have had to like punch the ground, because that's just part of how I feel the spell should be. So it's in his foot, and I don't know. It makes sense to me. I'm using my brain to try
You're
to
the
logic
one
things.
using the
That's not how
spell,
my brain
so
works.
if it makes sense, then that's fine.
Way of like doing necromantic spells instead of just wiggling your fingers.
Yeah. So well, like that was the thing. Like
Wiggly.
in
Wiggly
Salvador's
giggly.
guide, it said like one of the things was like
Yeah,
talking
I'm
about
just
your
gonna
spell
cast a
book,
spell.
and one of the
See, I'm
options
not even
given
worried
was,
about how I
it's all
cast
wrapped
spells.
around your
a spell
staff.
right now.
I
And I was
just
like,
want
whoa, wait a
to
minute.
activate my
Like,
radiant
it
consumption
doesn't
so that
have to be
there's
a physical
blinding
book,
light
it
coming
could
out of
be
my eyes
something
and
else.
mouth.
And I started going off of
Radiance
it.
my
So he has
sword so I
animate dead
can
across
have a
his
blinding
forehead,
sword and then drop a
because
moonbeam with a fucking
part
40-foot
of it
cylinder
is,
of radiance.
I
I just
can
want
use an
radiance
arm, I can use
everywhere.
the spells in that arm.
And then I'll be like,
So
oh, I hit you
that's
by
something
accident,
I'm
Gus.
excited about. Like,
Lay
like,
hands
just to,
on
like,
heal.
shit, now I need to rework like how can
All
I
my healing
possibly get
revolves
this
around
spell out?
touching
You're gonna have to record it somewhere else.
Oh wait, so it comes off of you?
Lester to molester.
Yeah, so
So I mean, like, because
Paladin
that's
level
more like
5.
a scroll then, than an actual spell.
No, so he has
How you doing? You need
So
some
it's
healing?
like, so it's like something like tattoo.
You look like you need some
It's
healing.
not, because so he has a special knife that it causes damage like a normal knife would, but after a minute, all the damage is reversed.
Okay.
So what he does is he summons the knife and he carves away all the skin and just gets all the way down to the bone. Then he has a arcane scalpel. He'll carve like the spell word.
I don't know what happened
into
to
it.
the gauze.
So like he has spare the
These
dying
ones I'm just
right
painting kind of
form.
generic because I'm going to take
So,
gauze.
like, he'll channel
and then
it
put
and
it over
everything,
them,
and he'll be
and
able to
then
like
I
push the
have-
energy out of his hand and whatnot. And if he loses the arm, you can't use that spell. And I just love that concept.
Fate break.
I mean, like, it's one thing to just break your spell book on you, because then you can just
They're
you know,
just walked
use it
out
essentially
right now.
just
I
use your
haven't
spells,
even
and then you use your spells, but you still have it in your book.
Well,
So like
he
that
knows,
years,
like, the thing is, he knows all his spells by name and everything. Like, so he has Find Familiar.
Yeah.
And how and you put it on the back of his skull. So how Find Familiar works is whatever animal he chooses to be the familiar.
Dude, I'm not gonna care about
they
myself.
essentially get birthed.
Because the wash and then the dry brush is gonna just make it disappear. Like I did with my actual stormtroopers.
winds up
Actual
dying in
stormtroopers
the
have like
process
guns
with
like
the
here,
familiar
like Space
and
Marines.
brings
No one's
you
gonna look there at like this distance.
Unless I get
Well, at that distance.
Yeah.
Or the familiar wants to offer you.
Judge, Ghost is trying to confuse me. Everyone's a
The
stormtrooper.
familiar is a fiend too.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I spent like 6 hours.
That's what we're looking. It's gonna make 100% sense.
Nice.
They're
So
gonna
you
fucking
think
pop
he's
once
able
they
to
start.
necromancer, or
I'm
you
gonna
think
do a little
I've
bit of
been
wash
it?
in the line.
Well, so, like his whole thing is he needs to study that.
The armor plate.
Where the fuck that come from? Oh shit,
Does
what's with
he
you?
want to become with it, or does
No,
he just
so
want
like
to be higher than it?
Like, so his backstory is
Has the other white came out?
father is a very, very
Yeah,
famous
I like
wizard
that. I
who
saw
works
that. I
at
like
the
that.
University
Yeah.
for practical magics.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And,
I really like
his
the
father
blue.
got obsessed with.
I'm doing Quenic like
The blue's going to go up one more stage, just to get
his
highlights in
father
there.
was actually wears the same uniform
And then I'm just doing the cockpit, cleaning up the bottom a little bit just to make it look like I care about the bottom.
Shadow. Because none of the other three
But, like,
Actually,
the gold on the
shadow
Can I use that blue?
exist by itself.
Yeah.
So,
You should have it. It's,
This guy?
oh, those are the airbrush mixes. It's deep blue.
I have blue if you need it. What
This is
blue
the,
do you
oh,
need?
this is that color? Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna use deep blue.
That's crazy.
Oh, I had a question, Dave. What's with the paints on the microwave?
Yeah, that's Wookiee face.
Use them if you want.
The unit leader.
Oh, they just
That's
put
if they're
the
not
paints
hard
on-
already. Ha.
They're probably, dude. Those have been there forever. So I don't even know if they're like even good.
Where am I?
Wonder if there's a
Why are they even
Probably
there?
would just be yellow
They
and
just
bloody,
paint-
and then
They
I'll
were
free paint?
abandoned.
Like a tan,
yeah, like I'll try to make it look like it's diseased.
Anyone going to Sketchy Taco?
like a strap.
Yeah, I'll take a walk.
Yeah, I'll figure it
I'll walk while I vape.
Can you do both at the same time?
Yeah, I can. No, I can't walk and vape at the same time.
I can't.
I have to be standing still.
Heaven forbid if you have to remember to breathe.
Huh?
Heaven forbid if you have to remember to breathe.
What is milk oil? What is that called? Wash. Washes are really good.
Oh right, those are things that you put into crevices and then make a little more like shadow, or they enhance like little crevices.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah, like the like in between the copper.
yeah, you see, like that was all like silver
Yeah.
and everything, and then I put black wash over it.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I thought that was so cool they can do that. Although when I saw like people just like entirely just dipping in the quick wash, it made me shudder a little bit.
No, that's actually like a pretty decent method. Like one the army painter thing on the right, the right by the opening.
Yeah.
It actually is detailing just how to paint a thing and then dump it in the wash. So yeah, he's got the 3 books. I like literally, I'm excited to see how George and I are gonna play off each other.
That's going to be interesting.
Get your taco if you want.
No, I'm not hungry for food yet.
Where everybody go?
Sorry. So his father got obsessed with elevators.
Yeah.
So his father at a very early level learned a 9th level spell and was able to cast it like nothing. So he like started you know Ravnica. So he's essentially a planeswalker.
Oh.
But in a D&D setting. So he goes throughout these different things, and he's made 5 children. So each of the children are genocide, and his last one was the necromancer who was in the Shadowfell. And so he was like, all right, like if my theory is correct, he's gonna come out as a shadow genocide. And he came out as a human. So he was like disappointed at him and like never spoke to him and shit like that. So the necromancer's kind of just like, well, what the fuck? So he has the necromancer was also teaching at the university as well as his siblings. I'm kind of happy with what I did with each of the genocide. Like, so the Earth genocide is an architect.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, so like I tried to like play into that. The fire genocide is a blacksmith. The air genocide is a botanist because I feel like pollen and all that stuff on the wind. And the water one. Oh, shit, I don't remember what I said. What? No, it was something else. It was economics. Because he's a cryomancer. So yeah, he taught at the college, and once he like developed his, because the knife is actually a spell that he developed. It's a complete, it's considered a cantrip because Dave is a very generous GM and lets me be over creative. So He was like, you know, I'm gonna learn the comprehend languages spell, and the best place for that is the ear bones. So he carved out the ear bones, and the students saw him do it, and like kind of just like fainted. And his brother comes up to him, he's like, yeah, you gotta leave, like get out of here. And his dad finally comes up to him, and they talk about necromancy for a little bit. And his dad's like, you know what, maybe you're not as useless as I thought. So now he's like been out and about, just like he stole his dad. So his dad wrote like 200 books, and his father's favorite book is like called Prima Elementa, and his copy of it has like extra chapters that aren't in the published work and whatnot. So he now has that, and he doesn't understand the spells and whatnot that are in the back of it that aren't in the regular copy. So he's trying to understand that, and it seems like for me what it is, it's gonna change. But for me, what it is it's like the father's trying to sacrifice all of them to become a god, all his kids to become a god. So like he's unaware of that, and that's like essentially what's there in his plan in front of him. So I'm gonna do these one by one. Get my things out.
Where'd your guild go?
I want to go get food.
Oh shoot, this guy lost arms. Oh god, they all lost arms.
Did I not bring it in? My spray paint can? No, it's right there. It's in front of my face.
It blends in.
Made in Italy.
So this, funnily enough.
Well, definitely not. I want. I need to paint it first, because there's a lot of spots where I can see. You can see where they messed up the paint, and I want to fix those areas.
Yeah. So once you get a flesh tone down, this stuff's amazing.
So what flesh tone?
I'm very partial to like either the tanned flesh or like the dwarf flesh. That one actually work out pretty well for you. It's a nice kind of middle of the road.
Did you want your paint down or no?
What's that?
You didn't want your paint down, did you?
No.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So since I don't always have a need for all the colors, sometimes they just sit for a while. They end up separating.
I tell you if you bother me.
Okay, thanks for that. Because sometimes people are too nice and they just don't, you know.
No, I'm just pretty easygoing.
Oh, the big ones. Those are not minis. Those are big ones.
Well, they're minis in sense of scale, because technically those are supposed to be giants. Or
try to spray paint Miles Woods with the aft.
You've been working on that one little guy for hours.
Hmm?
And hours and hours and hours and hours.
Grand total, this will only be about 3 hours.
There's a lot of detail on it?
Most of the detail on this piece is actually freehand.
Oh, that's why.
And even then, 3 hours isn't that bad.
How do you cut a miniature without ruining it?
Carefully. Usually it's just having the right tools is a big part of it. Like X-Acto knives, clippers, and small saws, files. It just takes a practiced hand at doing it. You have to keep trying.
Again, sounds is very expensive. Very expensive hobby. Oh, do the army paints dry darker than what you put on, just like regular acrylics?
Kind of. They'll tend to have a glossy sheen when you first put them on, but when they dry, they matte.
Okay.
see the detail on the mud troopers. They look sick. I didn't realize how good they looked.
You get that from Skullforge, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Isn't it frustrating when you can't find the exact type of mini that you want?
Oh yeah, it's obnoxious, but you look hard enough, you'll find it.
Or if you can't find it though, like, or if you can't find something too similar enough.
Well, then make it.
Yeah.
I guess it's good. It's gonna be hard.
I also don't
to
care.
hear them. It's not Hero Forge, I guess.
Oh. Dude, did you just like go Steve Irwin on a demon or something like that? Did you fix everything?
What?
I just got it. I'm gonna stick my thumb up. It's done.
Oh no. Dude, check his thumb. He's Steve Irwin's a demon.
Okay.
Well,
That's really pissed
or
me
a car.
off. Yeah. Aren't they the same thing?
Really angry now. I remember when he died.
Me too.
Because I was in Upper Blackrock Spire pulling to Drakasad.
Oh, you just came to hang out with us? You didn't order anything?
What?
You didn't order anything?
No. I ate breakfast. You saw me eat breakfast.
I eat
did.
breakfast. I love that it's such a rarity.
Eat the
that you
breakfast.
need to say it.
I ate the breakfast.
Oh,
You eat breakfast? What's breakfast?
What?
what color should the cockpit be?
I'm dumb. That's all I can say.
What?
I forgot that there's.
'Cause I'm
or I
either-
didn't realize that there are three
Black,
shoulder.
make it a black cockpit, but
cauldrons
then
Yeah.
per unit.
floss it.
Yeah.
I don't know if Plo Koon didn't have anything. People, the only thing I've seen that's been customized is Mace. People have been making it like purple.
Of course, people are making it purple. It's Mace Goddamn Windu.
Yeah, well, his ship
Oh,
is
yeah.
painted like a clown face. Otherwise, maybe like a blue gloss.
Wait, you're glazing it?
I'm just having a
With the
cockpit
cockpit.
glass
Oh,
because it actually looks really sharp as black, but I still need to like at least do some of the reflection lining.
you're not doing any cockpit glow?
Back there, 'cause that's what
Oh no, that's just it. I don't
Yeah,
know what
that's what
color
it
if I
is.
do.
And if
Well, red would be the obvious, candidate for contrast. Can you stay open for once in your life? You were doing so good earlier.
It's a rebellious teenager.
Yeah, I'm about to fucking slap its shit.
I hate you, Dad.
I hate your mom.
It's good.
I was thinking about that too.
It's really a little glossy, but
It also takes
Savage.
longer.
I hate your mom, but we have you, so we're gonna suck it up.
I mean, he would start with the other one first and then work his way up to it. By the time you get there, I'm sure.
There we go.
Oh my God, we wouldn't let any car.
That is recent. So yeah,
The New York
together
thing.
activates.
Can you just send me the Skull Squadron
That's when
image?
it's like moldable and
So I'm gonna
everything.
talk to Curl Call, see if we can get some stress tokens designed.
He has it already.
He has it?
Yeah,
He
made
has
the
it from when
he
we-
made the templates for us.
He has it from when we did the templates. I also sent it to Alex because this is the thing Alex was talking about.
I don't know. What was he talking about?
Alex wanted to get some tokens made too, so you might want to coordinate a little bit with him.
I mean, check and see if Andrew has the image so they kept it.
Alright, hold on.
That and I can send it to you right now because being remote into my PC at home is a thing.
Yeah.
Go on Discord again. I will probably end
Stress
up.
tokens might be hard because they're so small. We'll lose some detail, but
I mean,
he said the same thing about the
other people do it.
the frickin'
He said the same
Range
thing-
Roller set, and it came out amazing.
Yeah, because honestly, if they were the size of like on our range rulers, that would be awesome.
He said the same thing about the. That's actually why they made the target locks bigger, right? So he thought that they would lose detail.
Well, the target locks, I made them bigger because like I just kind of like misjudged things.
You remember the crates? They have their stress holding, the giant ones? I'm thinking that size.
Oh, that's no problem.
Oh, here, I'll just send you.
I have only one small room in my own house. I feel
Here.
starting.
This is it at full. I'm sending it to you now.
Okay.
This is it at full resolution, so you can just have him like dick around with it any way he wants.
He needed it a specific way. Remember?
Oh, that's right. He needed an
Does your
SVG.
Pathfinders come with the,
Yes.
All right.
the trooper helmet?
I can convert it to whatever
No,
file format he wants. So
Alex
just like,
modified stuff
hey,
so much.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fair.
I want a giant token of this. What format do you need it in?
That's cool. That reminds me of the dude.
Because
with the black
I'm assuming
one.
you want it the size of like those the other giant ones for stream.
Yeah. Or
Well, the middle one is in the
yeah,
middle.
either or.
Yeah.
Because the old
Oh,
crate
goes
stress
better with
tokens
that?
were just as big. So I don't care how.
I would base with this, and then you could highlight with that.
The whole thing is for streaming, obviously.
Still tempted to get the giant tokens. I like the giant tokens.
I still want to invest in like a set or two of those for the stream.
You can always ask Andrew and say, listen, we're streaming a bunch of these tournaments coming up and stuff like that. We want to use your tokens. See if he'll send us a set for free for just streaming, and we'll advertise specifically for him.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of things that need to be done for the stream. To be honest with you, I'm not talking about just like just equipment, but like we gotta like make things happen. Tiny little astromech.
No painting room?
Dude.
No, I'm good.
Dude, you take the corner.
I'll move over. All right.
I don't want to sit near you guys anyway.
Well, we wanted you to sit near us.
Look, all we gotta do is pull this out.
That's not gonna
and-
pull that.
What?
That's not gonna pull that.
That's what she said.
We're not pulling this off?
Do not pull this out. I need my dudes here. I don't have any room because Steve is over here.
Okay, what we do is just take.
No, it's okay. Gus cares more about his minis than he does his
Dude,
Fucking
right
with
here.
you. I'm fucking with you.
I know.
Relax.
I know. But I'm gonna fuck back with my penis. I don't know.
Well,
Nope.
I need an adult. Shit, I'm the adult.
I'm an adult. Dude, I have no problems being shipped with Alex. I'll take it.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
There you go.
2 bears, 1 cabin.
Roar? Question mark?
Well then.
Sounds like a porn.
No, if I was gay, I'd probably be gay for Alex. No lie. I said if I was gay, I'd probably be gay for you, Alex. No lie. Yeah. And I'm gay for a lot of people, so I guess that's right.
This is Popo.
Global warming.
West Babylon, World Famous Tattoo. And this was his apprentice.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. It was very
All right.
expensive.
The hell's clothes are to look like.
Yes.
Tim, you've been-
But when I think about the cost, it always hurts.
The cost of his tattoo.
Come on, you can't not admire that every time you see that.
Come on, Weege, it's just you. Of course I'm ignoring you.
You're not wrong.
Which
Wait,
one?
Lewis is crying that he's being ignored?
I'm not.
Oh, my phone's blinking.
You talking about fat?
Yeah. I love it. It's amazing. Just expensive. And right now,
But his backpack's got jets.
he bounty hunts for Jabba Hutt to finance his vet.
Yeah. See?
One of the things I didn't know I needed was a spoken word version of Fett's Vet.
Why is Weege ignoring the chat?
Well, no, he is being ignored because he like said a bunch of stuff in chat, and I've not been watching chat like I normally do. Weege.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Hey, you suck.
Wow. Monka S.
I also like how you used to like fucking Snickers. You're like, yeah.
Lewis is like sad because I was here early and he was babysitting and I didn't know that because he didn't communicate with me. So I showed up here earlier to paint. Can you stay open? Oh my lord, Citadel, please.
But I also try like so you're talking about wash process. That's what the one does. No, that was just me being as fast as possible.
Because I heard that sometimes you can just use a wash instead, like for it to move and stuff.
What's up, gents?
What's going on?
Yeah. How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. I thought you said Charlie. I was like, yeah?
Good Charles.
How's it going, man?
Just chilling.
Yeah, how was your birthday?
Pretty good.
Good.
How was that special anniversary second day?
Excuse me.
And how many should we order?
100.
Well, there's a I don't know exactly how many staple cards. No, I heard it's only like $60. Are they? How much are they? How much are they?
150.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope.
Sounds like these guys amping up production so they can.
Well, they're coming
cancel
out
the
with
game.
all the staple cards from set 1 and set 2 and set 3.
Yep.
They're coming with all of those with parallel foils, so like parallel foil sensu beans and shit like that. So that card alone is probably going to be like fucking $30. But I don't know how many of each of those cards are coming in the box.
$150.
So if there's only 2 coming in the box, then theoretically someone has to drop $300 on 2 of them to get a full play set of those cards. So I don't think they release. I'll do some research. I don't think they release on how many of the cards are coming in each box. If it's only 2, then I would say figure the amount of people that play this game that are willing to spend money on the game. I figure that they'll buy at least 1, if not 2 of those boxes.
I saw that price. I was like, what the?
Yeah. So I figure like.
Are they increasing or decreasing the release times too?
Well, that's why
They're spanning them apart a little bit.
And they're cutting out tournament power.
Yeah, tournament power is no more. Like you cannot find that pack anymore. Like
because they're not producing it anymore.
No,
it's
done.
It's done because it's one of the ways they're gonna cut out the.
Yeah, after a certain
so
period
many
of time,
sets being so close to each other. It's because they're doing regular set, tournament power, regular set, tournament power, regular set, tournament power. So they're gonna get rid of the tournament powers. So
yeah, all the
because there's some gap
booster
for
sets like Tournament Power, World Martial Arts, and the new Clash of Fate set.
Mm-hmm.
All of those sets are eventually just going to stop production completely.
They're stupid. They're so dumb.
And then they just came out with a video game for the Switch that comes with a leader card and 4 promos. Why the fuck are you going to do that? So I got to pre-order a game. So I got to buy a game just to get 5 cards, and then tomorrow
Well,
I'll be like,
that's why they did it.
Here, I got this as a gift from my mom for my birthday yesterday. I would like to return it. And then you keep the cards and you return the game because the game's probably fucking dookie.
That's why they did it, so that they sell the girl.
Exactly. But you know they're going to get returns anyway, so.
You're not gonna get your money back though. You're gonna get like part of it if it's open.
Yep. That's why.
It is what it is. But I'll do some research, find out how many of each of those staple cards that are going to come in the pack. Because if it's 4,
I'll verify right now. We'll look right now and take a look.
Because if it's
I'm
4
almost certain it's
per,
$150 a box.
if it's like say 4 sensu beans and 4 this and 4 that and 4 this inside of each box, then people are only going to need to buy 1. So figure all the people who are willing to spend money on cards.
Alex, Weed says you suck.
Yeah, but I'm bigger than Weed, so.
Yeah? He could eat him. I can eat him too. Alex has the death sentence in 4-star systems. He'll be dead. Oh my lord.
They've been doing him with him in the comics.
There's a primed hair. Alright, where's my keys? Tweezer power. Oh, there we go. Got it. What? Kish? He went to shitter.
People make comments about Kish and Legion thing.
think colliding with someone should also get rid of the buzz droids.
I don't know about that.
That's what they did in the movie.
They didn't really do a lot. Got rid of a few of them. And then R2 hit the center eyepiece. Okay. Oh, I need to do his fucking gun. God damn it.
Maybe these big ones now that I'm seeing them.
Yeah. Well, I want the stress level to be oversized like that.
Yeah, then that would be it. That's a good idea.
The craze had it that one point. Actually looking that was stressed. It was huge. This is pretty simple.
I'm going to just call on it here. Look.
I actually can't see shit. What am I looking at? Just everything?
Yeah.
It looks fantastic. Jesus Christ. Engine blower now.
Maybe on the engine glow. But like that's
you
all.
do the cockpit too. I like it.
It's just like super simple.
Man, this is great. There you go.
No, I know.
And then sexy.
That's the worst part. This is 3 times the cost of.
Yeah,
that's the problem. This is three times the cost of. If I had the money, I'll buy like one, maybe 2.
Guys, I might have lost your.
Oh no.
My what?
We don't know how many.
No.
But it's right here.
Oh. You put it right there.
I guess if I didn't, she may have.
Thank you. Did everything come out okay? Good?
Yeah, actually the motor was really good. I didn't realize the level of detail on what
I've been thinking of ordering stuff from Skullforge, but like.
Well, also, the Hyper Commando is
stressful as fuck.
Hey, we just call it the Hyper Commando.
The Mandalorian.
No one looks under. Yeah.
Just pull that mat over.
Good stuff.
Yup.
You have your matte coat?
Yes. Matte varnish?
Yeah, because